Tonight's WFA Pro Game of the Week is presented by Aid Nation and Pam Health. From Mahalik Thompson Stadium on the campus of Slippery Rock University, our coverage of Pittsburgh Passion Football continues as your passion hosts the DC Divas. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Matt Fargo, joined alongside Damon McDermott. A renew of the rivalry. It's Pittsburgh and D.C. And you know, Damon, in Pittsburgh, you have the Steelers and the Ravens. You have the backyard brawl with Pitt and West Virginia. And in the WFA, this is our version of it. It's the Passion versus the D.C. Divas. And here we go at it again.
It's always a huge game, and these two teams, they don't like each other very much. The Passion won that first matchup. Here tonight, the Divas would love to take that 0 away from the Pittsburgh Passion.
Speaking of that 0, let's take a look at the standings. The Pittsburgh Passion unblemished on the season at 4-0. DC, those two losses. Damon mentioned the one against Pittsburgh earlier this season. A Passion victory, taking down those Divas 56-27, and their other DC loss, Damon, was to Minnesota.
Yeah, they're coming off a bye week, so they're a little bit rested, ready to go against the Passion here tonight. And if you're the Passion, try to get to that 5-0 and try to make the playoffs unblemished.
They did that last year, were able to finish undefeated and trying to make it back-to-back seasons with perfect regular season records. Trying to stop the Passion is one of the all-time greats in women's pro football at the quarterback position, Amanda Congialdi.
And what another great season she's having here. She drives the bus for this whole entire team. 10 touchdown passes this year, only 5 interceptions. QB rating at 85.8. She drives this whole offense, has done a great job this season.
And on the other side of the coin for the Pittsburgh Passion, it's another quarterback that is just breaking records. It seems like weekly now, Marcelina Chavez leading the way for the Passion. And the good news is, after an interesting week last week with the injury, she's 100% ready to go.
And I mean, if you want to be excited and watch someone here tonight, she can do it all. She'll throw it a little bit, she'll run a little bit. I bet she'd catch a pass if they let her. And then when she's in the red zone, 20 yards and in, she's going to take it herself, and she's going to punch it in for 6 for her own right.
8 touchdowns on the season passing for Marcelina, and looking to toss a few more here at Slippery Rock tonight. Our third member of our crew, Susie Cole, got a chance to talk with the Pittsburgh Passion coaches as they get ready to renew the rivalry.
Thanks, Matt. Coach, the Passion facing their biggest test yet defensively last week. Where can the defense make some better adjustments against DC this game?
I think it's just sticking to our fundamental football. We have a great defense. It's coached well. We give different looks, whether it's press or off. And so it's just getting back to basics this game and executing.
The adversity that this team faced last week against Tampa as well, how can that help fuel this game against DC?
Yeah, I think we regrouped at halftime. We weren't playing our ball. It kind of reminded them of our goal and our focus, and we came back out. So I thought our second half looked a lot better, and just kind of continuing on that momentum from the second half of last game. It's been our focus, and really, this is a big game, and we want to take one game at a time and not take every opponent seriously. And they're a good team, so we just got to take care of business today.
Thanks, Coach. Matt?
Susie, thanks so much. That Coach's Corner brought to you by Aid Nation, maximum absorption for super hydration. And now it's time for our keys to the game. And our keys to the game are brought to you by McGee Women's Research Institute and Foundation and Pam Health. Damon, how do you get a win here tonight?
Yeah, for the Divas, you got to establish that ground game, and you got to also try to stop that run game for the Passion. And for the Passion, protect the football. This game was a one-possession game in the second quarter. Last time these two played, it was because of an interception. Got to watch the interceptions, got to watch the fumbles. And if you can get 1 or 2 big plays on defense and try to open this game up, you're going to get another win on that win column if you're the Passion.
Yeah, the Passion, one of the best at ball hawking. You have D. Harris in that secondary, leading the league in interceptions. Certainly what the Pittsburgh Passion are looking to do here tonight. All right, we can talk about it all we want. We can break it down all we want, but we're going to put it between the white lines when we come back. The Pittsburgh Passion, the DC Divas, we're coming back with kickoff of this rivalry renewed right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh! Peace around the corner, and Harris comes away with another. That's the statement. Time now for the PAM Health coin toss. PAM Health committed to providing patients with the best cares and outcomes, offering both inpatient and outpatient therapy. Find a location near you today. PAM Health bringing you tonight's coin toss, and joining us for the coin toss, Dr. Karen Riley, the 18th president of Slippery Rock University, a proud partner of the Pittsburgh Passion. And there are a lot of reasons why. Probably most notably, there's a bunch of Pittsburgh Passion alumni of Slippery Rock University. Most notably, co-owner Teresa Kahn, co-head coach. Of course,
somehow
Lisa
always ties back to Pittsburgh no matter what the sport. I swear.
No matter what.
We've had MLB players from Slippery Rock.
That's it.
We've had them in this league and the NFL. I mean, they've been all over.
DC won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Krista Kelly puts this thing on a tee, and another edition of Divas Passion set to begin here in Pittsburgh. A wide drive kick fielded from the 30-yard line. And from the far side across the 40 to the 45 on the return for Pittsburgh, Cameron Rufner. And Rufner has Pittsburgh set up a great field position at the 46.
Really good field position, and you got to guess here, Matt, they're going to try to establish this run game right away and try to march down the field just like the last time they played the DC Divas and score on their first possession.
This first quarter brought to you by A Nation. Hydration everybody, every day. A lot different weather-wise, balmy conditions here as they have Chavez lined up at the wide receiver position. They run a trick play. It's an end around to Chavez as she'll get the corner, and that's where she'll be down. Great job in pursuit to the football is Amaya King flying to get Chavez for no gain.
Way to get your nose on the football there, being a defensive back. Some don't like to come up and get that big hit, but right there, Amaya with a great tackle and a tone setter there for the Divas.
First down turns into second down now. Second and 10, and Marcelina Chavez lines up at quarterback position now. First snap she'll take, and it will be a handoff. We'll go right up the middle with Ariel Smith out of Peabody High School. And Smith estimated to get some more carries. It's going to be that running back by committee, but what a committee it is. High expectations here for this run game that's really been dominant to this point.
Yeah, and then when you get used to all the running backs, Marcelina Chavez at any time can just take it herself and get you 10 or 15 yards as well. I mean, this run game this year has been so electric for the Passion, one of the reasons why they are undefeated on the season.
And lead the league in rushing. Pistol formation for Chavez. Cody Johnson, the motion woman left to right, and they go off to Smith, who cuts back. Nice cutback lane, and she is just about 2 yards shy of the first down sticks. Coming up to make the stop for DC is Adams, and it will be fourth down, and Pittsburgh's going to stay out there offensively.
Yeah, only 2 yards to go here, and with this run game, you got to think another stretch or maybe wham right up the middle.
4th and 2. DC buckles down. It's a look here to the near sideline as co-head coach and offensive coordinator Lisa Horton barks out the signals to her offense. Chavez takes the snap. Another carry to Smith, and she has a wide open lane. You could have driven a bus through that one. It's the game's first down, and it's a Passion first down to the 41.
You'll see him a lot come out of pistol. You get a nice little running start there out of the backfield, and showing off right now. Maybe she could be the bell cow here today if they really need her. Really nice cut to play before for 8 yards, then you pound it again for another 8 yards on that carry.
You see her get a breather. The drum line of the Pittsburgh Passion getting involved in this one early, as we'll keep it on the ground, and it's Devin Peace, her first carry of the ball game off the left side, sliding in for DC. Jamaica Sharp out of the linebacker position, but Peace on her first carry gets 3.
See here again, pistol formation, nice stretch run play to the left. Try to make a cut, but a really good job by the Divas again. You got to swarm, you got to try to tackle the passion early on here in this game. And any time here, Matt, we might see that play action as soon as the Divas are so focused on stopping the run.
Passion came into tonight with 1,083 yards rushing. They'll look to pass on this one. Chavez sets, throws, bullet over the middle. It's caught for a first down. And awaiting that one for Pittsburgh was Angie Cardillo on the reception, and it's a Pittsburgh Passion first down. But what a throw by Chavez.
What a bold, and just like I just alluded to, play action. They are so worried about stopping the run. That middle of the field becomes wide open. Good job to set your feet, rifle that ball in there right in the zone. First down, Passion.
Passion knocking on the red zone here. They go option play. Chavez keeps off the left side. Chavez lowers her shoulder, and just a great open field collision there. That's as good as it gets as Haley Van Voorhorst makes the tackle for DC, and it will be second down after the pickup of 8.
And we got to get used to saying her name. She leads the Divas in tackles with 25 and 1 for a loss. Always gets her nose on the football.
Forrest coming up with that tackle, and it's second down and 2 now as the ball rests at the 12. Passion, positive yardage after that no gainer on the first snap of the game. Peace, another carry. And she'll carry back to the sticks. Second time they've only been able to get to the sticks, where it will be third down. But only one pass on this drive, but very methodical here by the Passion on the opening drive.
And kind of what we've seen all year, you set up the run game, and then that play action becomes so much more dangerous, especially when Chavez can get out to the edge and she can run for it if nobody's open. But right here, it's very interesting. You need 2 yards, you get 2 downs to try. So we might see another inside handoff, or maybe Chavez again takes it herself.
Passion have 77 first downs at this moment, looking for first down 78 on the season on this third down play. And it's an option play. Chavez keeps, and Chavez is denied any real estate. DC's all over it, and Brandy Pete led the way.
Really good job by the Divas, kind of respond and getting better run defense. This is exactly what happened in the first game as well, and this is what the Passion do a lot of teams. But right now the Divas trying to almost make it a stalemate up front right there. They finally get a push back, and now we got an interesting 4th and 3 here, Matt.
They converted their first fourth down attempt of the ball game earlier on this drive. They'll go for it again here. They converted a 4th and 2. This a 4th and 3 from the pistol. Chavez rolls to her left, has time, throws on the run to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Pittsburgh converts not only the first, but a TD tossed into the hands of Bethany Meyer, and the Passion on the board first.
What a good job to be able to find that throw. You only got to get 1 foot in there. Bethany gets under it right there, gets her hands under the football, and that's a touchdown for the Passion. Again, that play action, it's going to pay dividends. Really good job by Chavez here to set her feet right before the throw. Only one place it can really go. Good job to get your hands underneath that Passion score early on in this one, Matt.
A 12-yard pass and catch. Meyer hauls in the TD. And the extra point from the right foot of Paige Bragg is through the poles and good. 9:42 to play in our opening quarter. The Passion were handed the ball by DC. They deferred, and the Passion make them pay for it. They lead it 7-0. Divas first time with the football when we come back.
At Diesel Sports Complex, located in Cranberry Township, our mission is to develop athletes, empower families, and transform communities through elite coaching, innovative programs, and total player development. We proudly support female athletes and partner with the Pittsburgh Passion to inspire the next generation of strong, confident leaders. Whether it's private sessions, small group training, rep access, or full development memberships, we meet athletes where they are, and it starts with 1 visit, 1 session, 1 rep.
Supportive.
Grateful.
Inspiring.
Connected. Integrated.
Community. Communication.
Great. Fun.
Meaningful.
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional.
Care.
Opportunities.
Excellent. Passionate.
Family. Family.
Awesome.
First quarter action here, Pittsburgh and DC. The extra point was no good, so it's 6-0 Passion in front of the Divas, but a methodical opening drive here for Pittsburgh. They look good, Damon.
Yeah, they look really good, and again, that run game, as soon as you get so worried about it, that play-action pass, Chavez doesn't miss, and at any time she can run the football too. So this offense just looks so dynamic this year, and they're running on all cylinders so far in this one.
Yeah, that extra just spark that Makai Chavez adds to this Pittsburgh Passion offense is evident, and it's so great for her because she has a litany of stars to get the rock to.
And it's one of those girls that she does such a good job outside of the pocket, she's almost more comfortable.
Picked up on a bounce, and then a nice hit there at the 31-yard line. Decked on the return for DC was Vanetta Golden, and she down as we go down to Susie Cole.
Thanks, Matt. Star running back Ellie Malarski is out for today's game. She suffered an upper body injury last week against Tampa. I'm being told it's precautionary. She could be back next week against Cincinnati. So on a lot of those carries, we're going to see running backs Ari Smith and Devin Peace, and we might see two other players as well in safety, Dee Harris and tight end Cameron Rufner getting some boots on the ground here today at the running back position. Matt?
Thanks, Susie. Yeah, it was something we were talking about, Damon, about the stable of running backs that are available to the Pittsburgh Passion. We'll see them more when they get back on offense. It's Congialdi and the Divas offense. First touch of the football tonight. And a carry forward that picks their way for about 6 on the opening handoff of their offensive series. And it's Sarah Struber getting the call.
Leads the team in rushing, averages 4.5 yards per carry as well. 3 touchdowns on the year. Got to try to get her going early on in this one. But again, she's facing a dominant Pittsburgh Passion defensive line. So we'll see what she can do here tonight. But if they want to stay in this game, they got to establish a run game early.
That was carry 41 of the season for Struber. On here now, a second down. And 4 for Pittsburgh, or for DC. Struber one more time. Gets the carry. DeChico comes in from behind and tries to wrestle her down as help arrives. And we get whistles here for an injured Passion player as DC picked up the first down.
First down for DC at its own 46.
Medical staff out to attend to the injured Passion player, and Pittsburgh Passion would like to thank their 2025 sponsors. Thank you to you all. They all make this possible at the WFA Pro Division level. It's all about the affiliates, the sponsors, the partners that make Pittsburgh Passion football possible. We thank you all.
And it just turns into a big community. You can see all the people that came out for the game today and all the sponsors who make it possible, and what a game we have tonight between these two rivals. And it's just been an exciting year, and we got so much more action to go. So again, thank you to all the sponsors for making this this year special for the Passion.
Yeah, when you know that DC's coming to Pittsburgh, I think all the sponsors, all the community partners, they circle that one. That's a need-to-be-here game, and certainly has been that way to this point. They are still tending to the injured player, and will step aside as they tend to her.
Let's change. Let's change the odds for the toughest infertility cases. Let's change survival rates for triple-negative breast cancer. Let's change outcomes for moms struggling with opioid addiction. Let's change the gender bias in medical research. Let's change the way the world treats women at McGeeWomens.org.
Hi, I'm F. Doc Harris, and I'm here to talk to you about women's professional football. I've played a lot of video games, and I've watched a lot of football on TV, so that makes me an expert. I can tell you right now, I know what real football looks like.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Thank you.
Good luck this season.
And we'll welcome you back to Pittsburgh. They are just getting Rochelle Nestler up. Looks like an upper body injury. But it is great to see for how long she was down. Great to see her walk off on her own.
Yeah, and that's always the first concern. Make sure she can get off the field under her own power. And then again, it was just one of those dog piles where if you get at the bottom, you don't know what's going to land on you or what gets twisted up. So hopefully medical staff can check on her and as we get back into the game here. But
it's the worst part of the game.
Yes.
But you know, these are mothers, sisters, co-workers.
Absolutely.
Great medical staff with the Pittsburgh Passion and UPMC Sports Medicine will get her back in the action. First, another attempt on the ground here for DC. DeChico comes up to make the stop. Be second down here for DC.
But they're getting a nice push so far on offense. In that first matchup, their first couple drives, it was hard to run on this Pittsburgh Passion team. But so far, this first drive for DC, at least showing they can run the ball a little bit. Because we know at some point they are going to start slinging that ball around.
Second down, 6. Congialdi trips tight to the formation, one in motion. That's Kelly. She gets the fake, then they go back to the ground game off the left side, and a first down for the Divas as they give it off to Whitney Sims, who picks up another Diva first down to the 41.
Only has 17 carries on the year, but her 18th, she made it count here right there. Nice big counter play, big hole, little physical run there, and another first down here for the Divas.
Dazda made the tackle for Pittsburgh. As the clock winds here in the first quarter, opening frame, first touch of the football in their possession for DC, who trails 6-0. Congialdi will throw on the slant pattern. Got a receiver as Howell hauls it in and has first down yardage, moving the sticks to the 27.
If you remember anything about this rivalry and are you a fan of DC, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league right there. Just three-step drop, fired in there, nice slant. Good first down there for the DC Divas.
Rebecca Airgood in coverage, and that's not much the defensive back can do in those situations.
It's one of those plays that you scheme up, your run game's going so well, you back off just a hair there, and that slant's going to be wide open.
First down 10, ball to 27. Congialdi, low snap, back to the ground game as they give it off to Sims again, and she'll push her way to the 21. I beg your pardon, that went back to Struber.
Struber, the ball carrier.
See their low snap, doing a good job to rescue that one and get it off to your running back. Get a positive gain there, but we'll see now if the Passion can respond. We're getting into the red zone where everything gets a little bit tighter, and we've known this defense. I mean, DC scored the most points against them, but other than that, they have played awesome this year so far.
Off the left side, Struber gets another call and another carry for a first down to the 15-yard line, 16-yard line. It will be where they mark it.
And DC so far taking a page out of the Passions playbook here, where we thought DC would come out and throw the ball all over the field, and so far in this one, Matt, they have been running the ball very well.
DC came out hot this season, 71-0 over Philly, then beat Tampa Bay 38-28 before dropping back-to-back games. Minnesota Vixen in Minnesota 40-16, and then Pittsburgh winning 56-27. We talked about that game as they go back off the right side this time. Another carry for Struber.
Game 2, second down and 8 for the Divas.
inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And you mentioned, Damon, DC coming off the bye, wanting to kind of regroup here and reset, hit the reset button a little bit after the 2 losses.
Especially you got a very tough game here today, and then you have one more, and you want to make the playoffs, a team that's used to making the playoffs. So a bye week may be at the perfect time here for the Divas.
Pittsburgh blitzes. They run to the other side of that blitz, and it picks up great yardage inside the 5-yard line for Struber, and DC marches first down in goal, and just a lucky play call at that.
Yeah, I think the Passion there said, hey, we're going to blitz on the inside, try to get as much pressure as we can on the run game, but then they run a stretch play. Yeah. So, I mean, hats off to DC Divas there, but now we'll see what they can do so close to the end zone. You got to think the Passion are going to be sending a lot of pressure. So what line is going to win here, the offense or the defense? You're going to have 8 to 9 right up there in the box ready for the run.
First down and goal. Congialdi will turn around and hand it off. Struber is pulled down. DeChico flew in there and made the tackle for Pittsburgh.
What a play. That is one of those, you know you're blitzing right away, but you still got to read which way the running back's going to go, and you slow her down so then your teammates can come up and help you. A really nice play there for the Passion. And again, DC Divas, it gets tighter and tighter down here in the red zone. I know it's only a yard to go, but now you just stack everybody in the box and do everything you can to not let them cross that goal line.
DeChico, Ramsey. Ramsey's a Slippery Rock University product. Second down and goal here for the Divas. And it was a attempt by Congialdi to keep it, and she is planted in the backfield. Leading the way one more time is Ashley DeChico.
DeChico doing everything on this drive for the Passion, not trying to let them score a touchdown. It was one of those options play. It just took a little bit too long to develop, and by the time you get back in the backfield, when you have a defensive lineman and your linebacker back there, and everybody swarms to the football, a really nice play there for the Passion.
How about also 77, Caitlin Niedermeyer. She blew that offensive line right up. And DeChico came in to help out. Yeah, but Niedermeyer led the way there.
When you're playing defensive line and you are second on the team in tackles and you have 3 tackles for loss, you're doing something right. She's having a heck of a year for the Passion.
One of the anchors of this Pittsburgh Passion. Low snap, bobbled around. They were able to get the handoff off, but they are stopped short. DeChico was in this vicinity again, as was Ramsey, and slow to get up here is Sims for DC. It'll be 4th down and goal. Ashley's got the Troy Polamalu going on here, flying around. And let's go down to Susie, has an injury update for us. Technical difficulties, not able to get there to Suze. Try to call her back, see if she answers.
I think we'll get her at some point, but how about this defensive stop, or so far a stop? Yes. You got 4th and goal, but again, just getting all that pressure from the interior there for the Passion and trying. It's going to be interesting to see what the DC Divas do after this injury timeout. Do you try to run it up the middle again, maybe some play action, a little RPO play here? Because it seems like the Passion have finally said, okay, we're going to stop this run. Finally, we kind of figured it out a little bit, so.
You never liked, we talked about this, you never like to see anyone injured, but one of the sisterhoods of women's pro football, Damon, is any time that anyone goes down, both teams go down to a knee. It's something that the respect that all of these women have for the game, it is an unfortunate circumstance, but it is also one of my favorite things to just see how much these ladies care about the game. Welcome back into the booth. That's Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo here with you. Our game of the week, DC and Pittsburgh, is good news is the running back able to walk off on her own power here for DC, but Pittsburgh trying to lock it down here on a big 4th and goal play.
Huge 4th and goal play here as you see Sims being able to get to the sideline. But here we are, Matt, right after that injury timeout. It is 4th and goal. Somebody's going to win this possession right here, right now. Can the DC Divas punch it in, or can the Passion stop them here at the goal line?
4th and goal from the 1. Congioti, a quarterback keeper, and she is rolled down. It's a turnover on downs. A steel curtain stop by the Pittsburgh Passion defense. A rejection at the goal line, and Pittsburgh keeps the goose egg on the board.
You can hear the crowd getting into it. What a goal line stop. They were on the 2-yard line for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. What a stop for the Passion. As you can see here, tried the quarterback sneaky. Thought she had enough of a push, but she fell down right before that goal line and just did not get across. And that is a stop for, and it almost looks like they had a pulling guard there that thought she already had enough momentum and got tripped up on her own player there. But a good job by the Passion. You just don't want to get pushed back there. Try to stay in your gaps, which they did. And now the Passion have a really hard predicament here. You need to at least get a couple yards here, so then you have a little bit of breathing room. Wouldn't be surprised here if you see Chavez take this, or just a fullback or a halfback wham here. There's the fullback dive I just talked about. You just want to try to get a little bit of breathing room there, so you get 4 or 5 yards. Now you can start calling some regular plays there, but really good job. You got to get some breathing room first.
Yeah, they go to Cody Johnson, normally the tight end for Pittsburgh, but highly capable. And she was able to pick up 3. 2nd down and 7. Stick with the I formation. And Smith, who is stacked up in the end zone and brought down in the end zone for a safety. DC's on the board, and they do it with defense.
Not the way they thought they'd probably score their first points here, but what a play by DC to respond after that huge stop by the Pittsburgh Passion. So, again, we talked about that breathing room. It's very difficult for the Passion to call anything when your backs are against the end zone, but a really good play here to get some pressure off that stretch play we saw work so well in that first drive. And a big stop.
Jada Jenkins, blowing it up and getting DC on the board. A free kick coming up.
So, Matt, it's so good to stop that touchdown, but again, it's just, you see it all the time in any form of football. It's so hard to operate when at any time, if we go 1 or 2 yards back, I mean, it's going to be 2 points, and that's what ended up happening. But I mean, that is one of the toughest ways to start an offensive drive. So great stop by the defense, but again, for the offense, it doesn't get much tougher than that.
There's a reason why the saying goes, I'm backed up against a wall. That's exactly what the Passion were in the situation.
And they did such a good job of that fullback dive, but then you go with a stretch. A really nice play. It worked so well on that first drive, but if you don't get hat on a hat right away, somebody's going to be in the backfield, and that's just what happened on that.
The tip of the hat to the DC defense that's on the board in this 6-2 ball game, and Johnson will put a foot into it. Good kick, and it gets bobbled at the 30-yard line, picked up there. Returned by Kacharia Johnson, one of the electric players, and this WFA pro, and she spins around and gets some blockers. Is able to go down the far sideline. She breaks another tackle. There goes Johnson, and Johnson just a Houdini act to take it all the way for a Diva touchdown. There are no flags on the play, and there she goes, 70 yards for the Diva touchdown.
Right away, she bobbled the kickoff. Cody Johnson with a heck of a kick from all the way back from your own 20. She switched fields 3 or 4 different times and finally found a seam up that left sideline and punches it in for the DC Divas. They probably didn't think they were going to score on a kickoff return touchdown or a safety here tonight. We see both early on in this game. Again, you see bobbled it. You see the tracker. At one point, she's going left. You'll see right here, she stops for a millisecond.
Starts doing donuts.
Yeah, I'm going to do right. And then, oh, never mind. I'm going to go right back to the left. Finally finds a seam right after this. Good job. No blocks in the back either. That's when you usually see 1 or 2 blocks in the back. Finds a seam, makes the last defender miss there, and they punch it in.
Extra point, doinks in. And Emily Smith puts it through, and it is DC leading 9-6 over the Pittsburgh Passion with 38 seconds to go in the first. In this game, flips on a dime due to special teams, and we take another look at it.
Again, might be play of the week. I mean, what a return and what an answer for the Divas. Pittsburgh Passion, they did everything you possibly could on that kickoff return. They just could not get her down, and a good job, again, to find that seam, make the last defender miss right there, punch it in, and now if you're the Pittsburgh Passion, Matt, you thought you were in the driver's seat in this game. You have that big goal line stop. Now you get the ball back. You got to answer right away. You've done it all year. You know this rivalry, somehow it's always going to be a close game. Throw the records out the window at all times. So again, the Passion just need to answer now, where they never thought they'd be down 9-6 after that big goal line stop.
It was almost foreshadowing, talking about Kacharia and how electric she is, and not thinking that on that very play she would just show how good she is at that, providing that spark. 9-6 advantage, a 3-point lead for DC in the waning moments of this first quarter. And this one doinks off a Upman's helmet and then gets picked up. Dee Harris picks it up, and she'll march her way to the 31-yard line, where Pittsburgh will have it first down and 10. And just how methodical and dominant that first series was for Pittsburgh, it needs to be just kind of a rinse and repeat from what we saw in the first offensive series from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I mean, you can throw that second drive out the window again. They had their backs against the wall. That first drive, they did everything they wanted to do. You set up the pass, the play-action pass with the run. So again, try to pound this football, and then right when they start stacking that box, that's when you go back to that play-action, or even let Chavez get to the outside and then run it for herself.
Chavez with Peace in the backfield. Jenna Meister lines up top of your screen in the slot. Goes to the left side as Chavez keeps and picks up 3 on the first down. Scramble, calling her own number.
Yeah, it looked like right there they wanted a screen. It wasn't open right away, so she's gonna take it herself. Gets 3 yards on first down. As you can see right there, she can look right, throw it across her body, ends up just keeping it, saw a lane there, gets 3 yards, go right back down to second down.
I don't think they're going to get another playoff here, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. One round in this heavyweight battle. Both teams have exchanged first-round blows. We'll come back for round number 2. Pittsburgh and DC right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Time for dinner.
Most individuals, when they have an injury, they want to get back immediately, whether that is getting back to work or getting back to sport or getting to their next yoga workout. We really want to give them pain-free function and mobility as best we can for the extent of their lives, so they can be active, so they can enjoy being with their loved ones.
Second quarter action of Pittsburgh Passion Football, brought to you by Pam Health, committed to providing patients with the best care and outcomes. They offer both inpatient and outpatient therapy. Find a location near you. Pam Health bringing you tonight's second quarter. Back with Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo here with you. Second quarter action underway. Pittsburgh trails by 3, trying to keep an unblemished record. As they fake the pass, they give it off to Devin Peace, and she gets stopped for a loss on the play.
So we're going to see their first 3rd and long here for the Pittsburgh Passion after that run was swallowed up from the DC Divas, and you got to think now they know the pass is coming. We've seen a lot of play action, and it works so well, but we'll see what the Passion can kind of muster up here on their first 3rd and long.
3rd down. pistol formation. Chavez back to pass. Here comes some pressure. She rolls to the near boundary. She throws, and with coverage in the hip pocket of Meister, incomplete. Coverage provided there by King, who breaks it up, makes it 4th down.
She's made a couple plays here tonight, and here you can't miss her with that gold backplate she's got going on here today. But really good coverage. Good job not to grab a jersey there. You're confident in your coverage abilities, and we're going to see the first punt in a long time for the Passion here.
See to Britt, you see there, back to receive, so it is not who we just saw return that touchdown, right?
At that point.
And Kacharia Johnson.
And you also see Cody Johnson doing the punting duties as well.
Yes.
She jumped off the screen for me when I was watching film. She can punt, she can kick, she can catch the ball.
Here's the return from Britt. Britt gets a lane. Britt into Pittsburgh territory. DeChico brings her down, but kind of ironic, though. DC's going to set up right at where Pittsburgh needed to get for a first down on a good return.
Yeah, good return and a really good tackle by DeChico. That could have been another special teams touchdown. I love how physical she is. She saw right away, I got to get her down. Really nice form tackle in the open field. So good field position, but it could have been worse. Really nice tackle by DeChico there.
So it's first down at 10. DC operating with the 3-point advantage. Offensive talking there. You see the offensive line. One of the captains, Kylie Roebuck, you saw in the middle of the screen.
And you just got to try to figure out, again, that second drive really hard from your own end zone pretty much. But that third drive there just gets stopped with the run game. Just didn't go as well. But now you need to have a big stop here against the DC Divas.
First down at 10. First down 10 from the 41. Congialdi with the sidecar to her left. Goes back to pass. The southpaw looks to dial up a big one. It's a throw that finds a receiver as Dana Blakey makes the reception, and it is 1st and goal inside the 10 for DC.
She is the second leading receiver on the team. That's her 17th catch of the year, and she had a 49-yard catch this year, showing off those deep ball skills again.
And how close from this to being interception? You see Harris, she went right
fingertips,
through. Yes.
Fingertips. Really good coverage there. Just, again, every time you see a deep ball, you got to try to get your head turned around. They did. It just fingertip missed it, and now the DC Divas have another red zone opportunity against the Passion.
And they did not convert on their last one. Pittsburgh on a goal line stand denied them. This time it starts first down and goal at the 6. Congialdi, she will keep, try to bounce it, then she cuts back inside and gets down to the 2. Maybe the 3 here officially.
Something we haven't seen from the Divas this year on offense, showing a little bit of option here today. Maybe a different look again at rivalry. You see each other twice a year. You got to try to mix it up. As I think her helmet came off, Matt, so she has to come out for at least one play.
Yep.
And nobody else on this team this year has completed a pass. So this will be interesting. They just run. Is it just going to be a halfback dive and get her right back into the game, or are you going to try to shock somebody here?
In at quarterback, it's Gabriella Johnson.
Now quarterback for DC, Gabriella Johnson.
Buckman is next to her. She keeps, and she pushes, she stretches, and she's in according to the near end official. Touchdown Divas.
So they went with a wide receiver running back backfield and just ran an option. I thought for a second the Passion did stop her, but they're saying that she crossed the goal line. So good job. Without your starting quarterback in the game, you still punch it in for 6.
Gabriella Johnson gets it in.
See here, really just kept moving her feet. Really good job by the Passion to get into the backfield, but she just kept going. And, I mean, that ball still very close, but they gave it to her, so that's a touchdown for the Divas.
That's her first touchdown of the season for Johnson. And Emily Smith to put the extra point in. It is up and good. 12:01 to play. DC leads 15-6. Pittsburgh will try to bring it back and cut it within another score when we come back on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
At Diesel Sports Complex, we don't just train athletes, we build game changers. Located in Cranberry Township, our mission is to develop athletes, empower families, and transform communities through elite coaching, innovative programs, and total player development. We proudly support female athletes and partner with the Pittsburgh Passion to inspire the next generation of strong, confident leaders in sports and in life. Whether it's private sessions, small groups, rep access, or full development memberships, we meet athletes where they are and guide them and their families through the journey. This isn't just a facility, it's a movement, and it starts with one visit, one session, one rep. Learn more at dieselsportscomplex.com, where we're better today than yesterday.
And back to Pittsburgh, where DC has a 15-6 lead over the Pittsburgh Passion. Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo here with you. And you know what? Pittsburgh, we saw last week what they were able to do when they had a little bit a need for resilience. Had a little bit of things go the opposite way, the way you don't want things to go, and they were able to come back and battle it through. So I think Pittsburgh, that almost helped them in terms of being well-tested, being in a close game like they were last week.
Yeah, and through a season, if you want to go undefeated, you got to earn it. And I mean, you're going to have those challenges. So now it's all about the response. And they've been in this position before. They're familiar with DC, and they gave them a big, tough game in the first time they played this year, and now they just got to battle back down by 10. And Matt, I don't want to tell the future here, but they haven't had a kick return touchdown this year. The only way they haven't scored, so maybe that's one way you can kind of respond right here.
I like it. A little bit of a bobble there, as is picked up by Melissa Hall. Hall looking to the near side and being pulled down at the 25-yard line. Passion offense trots out onto the field. Let's go down to Susie Cole, who has a special guest with her. Susie.
Thanks, Matt. Yes, a very special guest, Miss Greater Pittsburgh, Marissa Simmons. Marissa, what does it mean to you to get to represent Pittsburgh at the end of this month at Miss Pennsylvania?
It means a lot. Not only am I representing such a beautiful city, but also my hometown. And it also means that I get to come to events like this and represent like incredible teams. I think that the Passion really embody what my community service initiative, Authentically Ambitious, is all about. You know, these women, these athletes show that women own strength and success, and I want every little girl that sees not only this game, my social media, and me on the Miss Pennsylvania stage to see if they can do it, so can I.
You just said it right there. One of your biggest passions is empowering other women and breaking barriers. That is exactly what the Pittsburgh Passion are all about. This is your first time out to a Passion game. What do you think?
I think that the energy here is electric. It is wonderful, and you know, they're showing women can do anything on and off the field, and that is very important to like shine a light on that. It's a beautiful thing, really.
Well, thank you so much, Marissa, and good luck at the end of this month. Matt?
Thank you so much, Susie, and congratulations, Marissa. Marissa's a cancer research scientist, graduated in 3 years from IUP, Damon, and has over 3,500 hours of EMS service. She is
absolutely
one of the great
amazing.
ones.
I was about to say, absolutely amazing. Never want to have my resume next to her resume. That is amazing, and she's doing such great things, and what a great spokesperson for Pittsburgh.
Here's Chavez, and she's going to bust one out here to the near side and be shoved out of bounds. A spark play here for the Pittsburgh Passion, and you go to your former National League MVP for a spark play, and they do it here.
We talked about her in pregame. She can do a little bit of everything, and I think she said, hey, guys, give me the football. Let me do it here. Right there, nice little just QB power pretty much out of there. Doing a good job down the right sideline. Maybe a little bit out of breath, but I wouldn't be surprised she took it herself again. No, it's going to be a handoff out to the left side for the Passion.
Yes, off the left side. Pittsburgh picks up another first down for Devin Peace.
When we were talking about this game, you predicted that she was going to get most of the carries here today. We know it can be a couple different girls, but we were waiting to see her make a couple big plays. What a nice run there, and it looks like the Pittsburgh Passion, it's right back to business. They're driving right back down the field trying to answer.
They go trips near side. Peace motions to the right of Chavez. And Chavez keeps. Chavez tucks inside the 25 to the 23-yard line.
I'm so impressed with when she runs read option. She's always making the right play there. Again, she'll take it herself at any time. She'll hand it off to her teammates, but a really good job. Find it right back up the middle, break one tackle, fall forward for a nice 5-yard gain on first down for the Passion, and that opens up everything else for them now. You can go play action, you can run the ball again here.
Chavez will throw, screen pass to Meister. Jenna in space out of the flat and pulled down after a minimal gain. Good open field tackle there. Kacheria Johnson coming up from the secondary to make the stop.
You'll see a little RPO here. She could have handed it off, saw her wide receiver wide open. Gain of 3 yards here. And now it's going to be about 3rd and 4, Matt, 3rd and 5. So, again, I would expect it is 2-down territory no matter what here for the Passion.
Meister, an All-American. Selection played in Canton, Ohio a season ago. Here's an option play for Chavez. Chavez with a blocker and decides to go right through the defender at the 15-yard line to the 14. It's another Pittsburgh Passion first down.
The way she runs at all times, you never know what's going to happen next. Right there, try to truck a defender. I want you to watch this block right there. You saw it quickly on your screen, and then the stiff arm go right down on the turf. But what a block by her wide receivers. What a let her get to that edge, and what a physical run by your quarterback.
That is a quarterback that is not afraid to get physical.
No, absolutely not.
No quarterback slides here in Pittsburgh. Empty set, Peace motioned out of the backfield. She gets it in the flat. Devin Peace with it inside the 10 to the 5 and down to the 3. First and goal, and a little extracurricular there. They rip the ball away. DC says they have the football, and the officials agree it's DC football.
There's a little bit of miscommunication there by the referees, but again, King making a huge splash play for the DC Divas, and we'll see it here on replay. But she's pumped up from that play. She's made 2 big ones in this game so far. As we'll see, it was a nice just screen pass to the right. Cuts inside. And King, she just comes up and just snatches that ball right out of her hands. A really nice play by King. And as a ball carrier, you're just not used to someone grabbing that ball off you as you're about to go down. So
no,
again,
she had 3 other defenders.
You thought, okay, I'm tackled. That's the end of the play. But
sure.
King just snuck in there, took that ball away. But just like we saw with the Passion, now the Divas have to at least get a couple yards of breathing room before you feel good about starting this drive all the way back on your own 3-yard line.
Yeah, shadow their own goalposts right now for the Divas, but they lead by 10, 16-6. Congialdi will throw the slant pattern incomplete. It popped up in the air and falls incomplete. And Divas, unlike Pittsburgh, that went with the run there in the shadow of their own goalpost, they go with the slant pattern.
Yeah, tried that slant play we've seen a couple times here today, but really good coverage and way to just knock that ball out. You know you're not going to pick that off. Just get it out of the receiver's hands as quick as you can. And interesting first play call there on your own 3. You trust your quarterback. I know everybody would trust her in that situation, though. How many passing touchdowns she has in this league.
Grace Dadzo was the one who broke that pass up. Now it's 2nd down and 10 from their own 3. 4 wide. They go to a run play, going to try to stretch it to the outside, and she will be able to get to the 10. So some positive yards. It will bring up 3rd down after the carry there for Harmony Buckman.
And kind of the same stretch play we saw the Passion try. Now the DC Divas do, and get to the outside there, get a positive gain there. Now up to your 10, but again, this is a huge 3rd down. You're up by 10, but you really don't want to punt this ball near your own end zone here. And for the Passion, you want to get the fans back in this game, the sideline back in this game. This is a huge 3rd down stop, a huge opportunity you have for your defense.
3rd down, 3 to go. Trips, top of your screen. Back to pass, Congialdi. Pressure comes. She evades, will throw, and she completes the pass for a first down and more as she's finally shoving out Buckman. But DC able to pick up a first down, and they have all the breathing room now as they are able to get it all the way to the 29-yard line.
Really good pressure by the Passion there. You thought you were going to get her in the backfield. Little Houdini move of herself there, dodging one defender, and then she's just trusting her receiver wide open there. First down for the Divas. But again, for the Passion, really good pass rush. Just got to try to wrap her up. We know how elusive she can be. Not the best runner, but in the pocket, she's always making one or two defenders miss.
First down at 10. You see D. Harris tied for the lead in interceptions. Pittsburgh could really love to dial one up here on a first down at 10. Ball to 29 for Amanda Congialdi and the Divas. Screen pass sent up to the far side, and it is completed for the 35-yard line as the reception made by Britt. Second down after the pickup of 6.
Again, the Divas are just in a little bit of a flow state here is how I would say it. They're doing a lot of screen passes, then they'll throw that slant, and we've seen one deep ball, so we've seen a little bit of everything, and their run game was working a little bit in this first quarter. But again, the Passion keep getting into the third down situation, so see what they do here on 2nd and 5. Still in a territory you probably have to punt.
Turns around and hands it off on 2nd down. Buckman again the call. And it's interesting, they had success earlier with Struber and Sims, but now they're going with a more speed back in Harmony Buckman.
And we've seen that with a couple stretch runs so far for her and a sweep. And you don't want to tip your hat when you have one running back in what you're going to run, but so far it's been working for the Divas, as now you see the drum line trying to get into it for the Passion. The crowd's getting into it for the Passion. Another big third down here where they could try to turn the tables on the Divas.
3rd down 1, Pittsburgh jumped. Flag down, the play still live. They're going to let it fly down the sideline. Got a receiver. It's caught for the first down at the 35-yard line as a free play downs up another big play for the Divas. Blakey makes another big reception.
That's her second of the ball game. She is their deep threat, again, getting behind the defense, and good job by the Divas not giving up on that play. They knew it was a free play, and that penalty is going to be declined, and it's going to be a first down for the Divas. But a lot of quarterbacks, they might give up on that play, just drop the ball in the backfield, say, all right, we'll live to play another day, but nice deep ball there for the Divas.
First down, and it's Buckman on the carry off the right side. Tries to get the corner, and that she is not able to as Rebecca Airgood comes in, flying in to make the tackle for Pittsburgh.
Really nice tackle there by Airgood. They are getting a little bit sick and tired of these stretch plays. Again, you got to set that edge. Good job by Airgood, and then you just got to shoot the gap. Again, a defensive back. Some don't like to come up and make tackles, but so far everybody on the Passion is doing a good job getting their nose on that football.
Pittsburgh averages just giving up 15.5. DC already over that average for this ball game already. And DC averages giving up 31 points a game, and they've kept that at a minimum. Congialdi on 2nd and 9. Here comes pressure. She tries to spin, evade, throw, and in and out of the hands, incomplete. Blakey, the intended receiver, but Congialdi, I hate to say it this way, Damon, but I think it's the best way, and Pittsburgh fans will understand it. She's Ben Roethlisberger-esque in the way she evades.
It's unbelievable how she has 2 or 3 pass rushers in her face, and it's not just her trying to get away from them. She's still looking for her receivers down the field, which is something you can't teach. A lot of people panic in that pocket. You can see her eyes are always downfield, almost completing a pass there, and for the Passion, you're asking yourself, what do we got to do to bring this girl down? But again, you got to keep setting your edge there, get some pressure in the backfield. Eventually, it's going to pay dividends. You're going to get a sack.
3rd down. And out of the motion, they go to the trick play. It's a wide receiver reverse play as they go to the far side with Britt. And Pittsburgh stays at home. Everybody's on assignment. And Rebecca Airgood, one of the captains of this defense, comes up to make the stop.
Matt, if you got to guess who's going to make a tackle for the Passion, you know Airgood's always going to be there. And I want you to watch DeChico here. She did not give up on this play. Always kept her outside shoulder free. Did not let it get sucked inside there. And that's a really good job. So there's nowhere for that receiver to go on that reverse.
4th down for DC. Pittsburgh needs a statement stop here.
And they're in no man's land, so they are going to, I would guess, air this ball out. And you see the fans trying to get loud here, make it a little bit difficult here for the Divas.
4th down and 10. Congialdi does a check with me with one of her receivers. Back to pass. Steps up into the pocket. Here comes pressure. And here comes the house. Pittsburgh gets a sack and a turnover on downs.
Good job to finally wrap her up. You thought again she was going to come through that line and somehow sneak through everybody, but a really good stop for the Passion. Now they get the ball back with 2:47 left to go. Enough time to try to get your own touchdown drive before we go into halftime.
Hampton came in. Kendra Hampton along with Niedermeyer, Zubovic. The house was coming for Pittsburgh, and it was a must stop, Damon, for Pittsburgh, and the defense comes up with a really clutch stop. Now the offense needs to just continue where they left off. They were driving.
Yeah, that first drive,
I mean,
it couldn't be more perfect. And then these last two, just a little bit of miscommunication. And again, they were right in their own end zone here. So again, try to set up this run game, which we see right here.
Peace, who had the longest run of the season last year, as she went over 90 yards to the house. So she has that big play ability. She picks up 5 there, maybe 4. 2nd down at 6 at the 36. Chavez rolls near side. Looks for Meister. Meister diving attempt incomplete.
Good coverage there by the Divas. Not a bad ball either. You want to throw that to the outside where only your receiver can catch it. Good news, the clock does stop here for your 3rd down as we're already down to 2:11 here. But if you're the Passion, you got to somehow keep this drive going. So just out of the reach there.
Meister 2 touchdowns last week in the win over Tampa. Third down, 6 to go. Pittsburgh, play action, throwing to Johnson for the first down. A flag comes flying, and Johnson able to pick up the first down as a flag way on the other side of the formation. And now I look, there's hankies everywhere.
I feel like the refs almost have a contest who can throw
the longest
flag. When you see one, we already got the point. Then you got a second one and a third one coming here, but we'll see if this is going to back up the Passion.
They need a movie, The Longest Flag.
And unfortunately, Matt, it looks like it is going to back up the Passion here as we'll get the play call.
It's Dave Barry. It's one of the offensive linemen. So we take a look on the two-phrase replay.
As you can see there, just for a screen pass, it's always hard because you're trying to time it up yourself, but you can't see what your quarterback's doing. So again, there you can't go downfield. So the big play is erased for the Passion.
So here's the 2-minute warning. In Pittsburgh, DC 16, Pittsburgh 6. Final 2 minutes of this first half when we return on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Let's change. Let's change the odds for the toughest infertility cases. Let's change survival rates for triple-negative breast cancer. Let's change outcomes for moms struggling with opioid addiction. Let's change the gender bias in medical research. Let's change the way the world treats women at McGeeWomens.org.
We're back for the final 2 minutes of the first half. Pittsburgh trails by 10 over the DC Divas, 16-6. Our JRM video production crew bringing you Pittsburgh Passion Football and the WFA Pro Game of the Week on the All Women's Sports Network, as well as Chavez on third down, looking to play Houdini now as she pulled it down, and she's able to pick up some yardage to the 38, but it will be fourth down territory, and a decision here for Lisa Horton and Pittsburgh on what they decide they want to do on fourth down here.
What's always difficult is Cody Johnson's also your punter, and she's out there as your tight end too, so they're not really tipping anything off yet. I think they might be going for this,
It looks like it.
As they're going to at least let the clock churn down here before they make any play call. You could also see a timeout, but it looks like they're going to be ready for this play call. 15 seconds to go.
Long 4. Pistol. Chavez, play action. Immediate pressure. Chavez to run, and she's not going to get there. She's actually going to lose a yard. Turnover on downs. Divas hold, and the Diva offense will take the field with 1:06 to play here in the first half.
Really good stop by the DC Divas in the first matchup. We saw Chavez getting so loose, as she has today, but so far they've done a way better job getting her down. We know how difficult she is to tackle, so a really nice play there by the Divas. And now they have 1:06, Matt, to try to answer one more time, and for the Passion, you really need to stop to get some momentum back going into halftime.
And maybe Pittsburgh's thinking, you know, their defense capable of scoring as well. We're going to see if DC isn't complacent here and they try to go for another score. They can't make something happen, and they will throw it. It's a throw to the far side boundary, and it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. Chelsea Hill in coverage. No, I beg your pardon. That was Rebecca Airgood in coverage as the pass intended for Nibia Howe.
Airgood again with really nice coverage. We've seen her make a couple big tackles here for the Passion. Really good coverage there on the out route. You just want to stay on that outside hip and swat that ball away right as she did. And now we'll have a 2nd and 10 for the Divas. Again, dangerous territory here, but you have full faith in this defense, only giving up 15.5 points per game so far this season.
2nd down and 10. Congialdi will throw over the middle, and it's behind her intended receiver, incomplete. It will be 3rd down, and maybe a questionable call of whether or not, you know, you want to get that first down, no doubt, but for DC now, they're faced with a 3rd down, and Pittsburgh's eyeing the clock right now, saying we might be able to get this thing back.
And we know how dangerous that offense is. If they get 45 seconds, they can definitely do it. And I really like that play call, just a little bit of miscommunication, throwing that ball behind because of the pass rush from the Passion, but you had a bubble screen to a slant wide open there, but the pass rush made the throw just a little bit rushed.
3rd down, 10. They go 3 wide on the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Congialdi with some pressure, steps up into trouble, backs up, and here comes more trouble, and it comes in the way of Tiana Cash, who cashes in on another sack.
Tiana Cash making a huge play for the Passion. We've seen how elusive Congialdi is all day long. Cash said, I'm sick of this. I'm going to bring her down. A big sack for the Passion there. As you see one spin move, and you're thinking, we got to get her down, and what a nice open field tackle there. Bring her down, and that's a big stop for the Passion. And the Passion are going to take that timeout, Matt, so they're going to have 30 seconds for this long 4th down. So you're going to see some type of coffin corner punt here to try to get them inside their own 5. But, hey, if they can get a block on this punt or if it goes a little wayward, you got 30 seconds to try to drive down the field. And we've seen big plays all year. We know they can do it.
There's Teresa Kahn out to talk with her squad.
It'll be interesting how they play this, too, because you could rush all 11, 10. Obviously, you got to watch out for the fake punt, but you don't think they're going to do that here. And try to get a block and hope that makes this punt go a little bit sideways.
See Teresa there, the visor on your screen. A former Pittsburgh Woman of the Year, a former player on this Pittsburgh Passion squad in its inception, went from player to owner. You know, that's the same as the Mario Lemieux of the world in this city, and a staple.
And look what this team has become and this program has become. And just that is a person that is just a great spokesperson for this whole entire league at all times. As we'll see what she told her players here, and if they can make a big play here. They're lining up mostly like it's going to be a fake punt. You got 2 in the middle of the field and then 2 returners about at the 10-yard line.
4th down, 16. Punt unit is out. It's Smith to do the duties. Harris awaits, bobbles, has to grab it, still hasn't done so. Now she will, and she gets tackled from behind at the 22-yard line. And just kind of thinking about what she wanted to do with that before she secured it. And now the offense has 19 seconds left. It'll be interesting to see if the offense wants to shoot one up here or not.
Yeah, this is one of those, you see it in any form of football. You're going to run the ball here. Potentially you get a big gain, then you call your timeout, and then you try to go deep. Or you might just see a deep pass here. You got 19 seconds. You got 1 timeout. So if it's in the middle of the field, you can still call that timeout.
Remember, the Divas deferred, so they have the football to start the second half. Chavez on a 1st and 10. Rolls to the far side. Will throw and looking for Meister, and overcooked it, incomplete. But right idea there. That could have went for big play yardage. And Meister hauled that one in. It will be 2nd down, 12 seconds to play in the half.
And that's your big play option right there. Meister this year with 20 catches, 223 yards, has a long of 46 and has 5 touchdowns. What a year she's having. You got to try to get her active here in this second half. So you got 12 seconds, Matt. Again, try to take care of the football, but again, you're trying to look for an explosive play. You still have 1 timeout if you can get a big chunk play here.
They go to the trick play. And Meyer on an end around gets sniffed out from behind. Then Horace on the tackle.
As we do have, looks like the Passion are going to use their last timeout with 2 seconds left. And they're going to actually change it back to 4 seconds on the clock.
Passion call a timeout. 4 ticks to go on a 3rd down. Pittsburgh Passion want to thank our 2025 sponsors. Thanks to all of you who make Pittsburgh Passion football possible.
So you can see the fans still into this one, Matt. 4 seconds to go, hoping for an explosive play, get some momentum going into halftime here.
Third down, but essentially the final play of the half, barring a defensive penalty. They go to the screen pass. And that will be the way this first half expires. Completed pass to Cardillo, but the clock expires and the DC Divas have a 10-point advantage over Pittsburgh, 16-6. Coming to Pittsburgh and have a 2-score advantage. The Passion will need another second half comeback in them. Did so a week ago. And we'll head down to Susie Cool, who has Teresa Kahn with her.
Thanks, Matt. Coach T, DC with a couple of picks in that first half of the game. Where can the offense better adjust for the Passion?
I'm so sorry. I can't hear you.
You're good. I said DC with a couple of picks in that first half. Where can the offense better adjust the second?
We just got to go ahead and connect. I think they're doing a good job. We were doing well on the ground, and we'll get the connections. We're going to come back out, make the adjustments we need to, and get back after it.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Matt?
Thanks, Susie. We will see what X's and O's and adjustments are made in the locker room. Certainly the Pittsburgh Passion as capable of a coaching staff to do so. But the DC Divas have come to town and trying to give Pittsburgh their first loss. It's our halftime show on the back half of this break, and it will all be presented to you by Title IX Pittsburgh. Until then, we'll be back with second half action of Pittsburgh and DC right here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Supportive.
Grateful.
Inspiring.
Connected. Integrated.
Community. Communication.
Great.
Fun.
Meaningful.
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional.
Care.
Opportunities.
Excellent. Passionate.
Family. Family.
Awesome.
Welcome inside the Title IX Pittsburgh halftime report. And I got a chance to sit down with some of the Pittsburgh Passion. It's time now for our Captain's Corner. Susie got a chance to sit down with our Captain's Corner interview. That's brought to you by Voodoo Brewing Company. At our pub, you'll experience the same passion and dedication to brewing great beer that has made us a recognized brand. It's Voodoo Brewing Company bringing you our Captain's Corner.
Welcome, everybody, to the Captain's Corner, brought to you by the Voodoo Brewery. I'm Susie Kuhl, and I'm here with Ellie Malarski, Emma Gurley, and Kylie Robach here today. Ellie, I'm going to start it off with you. You are now 5 games into this Passion season, so what has your favorite part been so far?
Favorite parts have been definitely the celebration at the end. I think after we see the score and the clock winds down and we're giving those high fives at the end and just feeling all that weight that where we feel like we're all holding our breath during the whole game is amazing. We are all cheering. We come in feeling successful as an individual and as a whole unit.
Emma, for you, where have you seen this team grow the most?
Oh, man, I was going to say for Ellie's answer, my favorite part has been watching this team grow week in and week out. I think that no matter how we play, whether we win a game by 30 or if it's a close game, we come into practice that week ready to grow in every facet of the game. And then each week we get to come out the next weekend. And I know I'm excited to show like how much better this team got during that week.
Kylie, Emma just said it right there. This team has grown each and every week. So where are you expecting this team to grow the most over these last 2 games?
Definitely, in all aspects of the game, offense, defense, special teams, but even on the sidelines. I mean, the teams have the utmost support for us and the energy. That's where we grow the most, and that's what's going to win us, keep winning us our games, is the energy on the sidelines and the great support from our fans and our team. That's where I think we are growing the most.
Well, Kylie, Emma, and Ellie, thank you so much for joining me in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Voodoo Brewery here today. That's all from us. Matt, we're back to you.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. this is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
At Diesel Sports Complex, located in Cranberry Township, our mission is to develop athletes, empower families, and transform communities through elite coaching, innovative programs, and total player development. We proudly support female athletes and partner with the Pittsburgh Passion to inspire the next generation of strong, confident leaders. Whether it's private sessions, small group training, rep access, or full development memberships, we meet athletes where they are, and it starts with one visit, one session, one.
Hey, come on in. Time for dinner.
And we welcome you back here to Slippery Rock University. It is our Title IX Pittsburgh halftime report. Pittsburgh's first women's sports bar. David, I have to tell you, got a chance to swing by for the first time a couple of days ago. Pretty cool to see so many women's sports, Pittsburgh women's sports with the Riveters, the passion. It's a pretty cool thing to see. And then, of course, all the exciting throwback games. And we're going to throw it back to the first half for first half highlights now.
Yeah, you can see this is an action-packed first half. What a throw by Chavez there. And good job by Meyer to get her hands underneath that football. But then the Divas answered back with their own punch right there with a safety. And at this point you said, okay, well, we're still got the lead in this game. But then we had one of the most electrifying kickoffs we've seen all year, as she changed directions 3 or 4 times and ended up punching it in for the Divas. Because, I mean, this highlight right here is over 20 seconds because she changed directions so many times, Matt. But what a kickoff, return, touchdown again off that safety. And after that, you saw them punch in a touchdown here with their quarterback on the sideline with a little option play. Gabrielle Johnson scores there, and that was the scoring in the first half. And you got to think, as you'll see a couple more big plays here for the Passion. They've had a lot of big plays. It's just trying to group them all together like that first drive we saw, and they got to bounce back here as Chavez with a big stiff arm there, and that's when everything was going good. So you got to come out. They need a big stop in this start of this second half. There's that fumble right there, the big strip from King, who's been all over the place for DC Divas. But the good news for the Passion, they finally started to get that pressure they needed and got some sacks against the Divas here. As we'll see one more, and this one was by Cash, wrapped her up. Nice open field sack. And again, the Passion need to respond here in this second half, but it looked like they finally tried to figure out the Divas there in that last drive when they made them punt right before the second half.
I got a chance to sit down with Ellie Malarski, as she not playing tonight, but one of the staples of the Pittsburgh Passion run game and a big part of this family. Let's hear what she had to say during our talk. Ellie, before we talk about the 2025 season, I want to take you back to last season, jumping into the quarterback role. How did that play out for you, and what was that experience like for you last season and the success that you had?
It's what Passion does. It puts you out of your comfort zone and pushes you to new places and trying new things. To be able to step in a quarterback position for a little bit was nerve-wracking, but as many of us would do, we would do anything for the team and go in any position we want to. And I think that's what made last year so successful.
What'd you learn about the position? What'd you learn about yourself from last year?
Even more appreciation for my quarterbacks. What they do is absolutely incredible. The pressure and having to know where everyone is at all times and the trust within each other. It made me feel that I can be a better running back, knowing that I need to protect my quarterback and make them feel confident and be able to get the ball out.
What's the mindset of this team now jumping into 2025 campaign, knowing how close you were to making the championship and getting there? What's the mindset going into this season?
Grit, perseverance, working hard, having good attitude throughout it, and honestly just playing for us and who we are and staying consistent.
Did last year at all help you in your roles now as running back and wide receiver? In those roles, did it help you at all now that you're back where you're supposed to be?
Absolutely. The more positions I play, the more I understand the game and the roles. I think I was starting as a wide receiver, working on perimeter blocking. Now as a running back, I know how a wide receiver is going to block, and I'm able to read their blocks and predict it and be able to make those cuts as needed.
One of the words that's always referenced when talking to a member of the team is family and a sisterhood. Talk a little bit about that and what you've experienced with the Pittsburgh Passion since you've been a part of it since 2018.
There's a reason why I keep coming back. It is just women supporting women. There's no other feeling like it, and that's what Passion embodies. We are truly making history, and it's a blessing to be able to be a part of it.
You came in at 2018, and now in the last 2.5 years, the women's professional sports scene has caught fire.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying being a part of that? And do you feel like we're getting to a point where this can be and become something like the WNBA, something bigger than it is even now?
Absolutely. I think in the end, it's having the next generation to be able to see us. I don't know if I'll get to see the day where we make it to NFL level, but to be part of the history is everything. I love that flag is taking off, but I worry that we're going to settle at just flag and forget about women football and putting on the pads and how we can do it too, because we can do anything as women.
What's your personal goals coming into this season?
I just want to support my team. I want to be able to go where I need. My personal goal is to just get out of my own comfort zone, which these media days are getting me out of my comfort zone. But it's great. It's good for younger women to see, like, hey, I might be an introvert, but she's doing it and I can do that too.
What do you do day job? What's the day job look like, and what's your week look like when you're in season?
Sure. I am a health and PE teacher. It is amazing, and that's why I keep talking about the younger generation, because I work with the younger generation every single day, day in and day out. And as a health and PE teacher, I want to be a role model and truly do what I say and preach. And I think being able to play football, they really see like, hey, like my PE teacher is actually being active. She's out there. She's supporting other people. And to be able to share that message in the classroom and do it out of the classroom, I really think it hits home for them.
It's a melting pot of positions and people of all walks of life become a part of the Pittsburgh Passion. And now that you've been a part of the team now, you're approaching or at that veteran status.
Yeah.
Now you have those rookies coming in. What is that like now from a different lens, maybe looking back at your rookie season and now where you are in 2025?
I think coming into my rookie season, as a lot of us athletes come in, we are ranked highest like in high school or college ball or whatever sport we're playing, and then to come back to the bottom of the totem pole is very humbling. And I would say to any rookie, you got to just trust the process. You got to just keep showing up every day, trust the process. And I think by year 3, I was really taking off, and each year it just keeps climbing, and it's exciting to see.
Last thing for you, why do you play for the Pittsburgh Passion?
I wouldn't play for anyone else. That's a hard one to answer, because Passion is truly its name. We are a team of women that just support each other and truly push each other past what we thought was possible, and our leadership believes in us, and there's no one else I would want to follow.
Thanks, Ellie. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm F. Doc Harris, and I'm here to talk to you about women's professional football. I've played a lot of video games, and I've watched a lot of football on TV, so that makes me an expert. I can tell you right now, I know what real football looks like. Oh,
hey, Doc. Thank you.
good luck this season.
Stay connected with all the action. Follow JRM Sports on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Get the latest highlights, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes moments from your favorite sports. Don't miss a second. Follow us today.
Getting ready for the second half in our third quarter is brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Pittsburgh Passion. Welcome back as we get ready for this start of the second half. Pittsburgh and DC. Divas will get the football to start. Johnson puts a boot into it. It's an end-over-end line driver that's going to get behind everybody. Bounce and roll around, picked up and circled back at the 6. And Pittsburgh's on top of it at the 15-yard line. Flying in there for a tackle. That is Nija Brokaw. A great tackle on special teams. And that's the way Pittsburgh needs to do throughout this second half, Damon, but a great job to start it off on special teams.
Yeah, what a tone setter there. We saw how dangerous this kick return team can be for the Divas. Nice open field tackle there. And maybe that is the momentum you need going into this second half. A punt here on this first drive. You can flip this whole game inside out. As you can see, the supporters, we even got some fatheads out here today.
We do.
And we got I call them just boomsticks. I mean, at all times, they can generate a lot of noise. But it's nice to see the great turnout here today for the Passion. And who wouldn't want to come to a rivalry game? And we've got a little bit of drama so far in this game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh gives DC a first down and 10 to start this third quarter. And they'll go back to the ground game to get it going. And it's a carry by Struber. Sarah Struber, leading rusher for this Divas squad.
And it is so impressed of me, no matter what, Niedermeyer is always in the backfield. I think she's going to have a huge second half here for the Passion, and that's exactly what they need, only giving up 2 yards in that first carry.
These teams have met a bunch since 2022. Pittsburgh won the meeting in 2022, 36-12. And Pittsburgh would beat DC both times in 2023, 41-15. And then the Divas would return the favor, I beg your pardon, in 2023. They won 44-16 in Pittsburgh. And then last year in 2024, the Divas lost 54-29 and then 56-27, the most recent meeting between these two squads. So it's been a little bit of back and forth. Pittsburgh winning the most. And the last time the Divas won against Pittsburgh was in 23.
You got to think after that first matchup where the Passion kind of drifted away in that second half and just really started to dominate that game. The Divas had this one circled after the bye week, a rivalry game, big game, but right here, a big 3rd and 7.
Congione will lob it out there for a receiver. It is caught for a first down. And again, a tackle by Brokaw, but not before a reception by Christy Kelly and a Diva first down.
Nice out route there. You wait for your receiver to get almost to that sideline. Again, so impressed by Congione here. As you can see, she's always got a pass rusher close to her. Right there, gets it off right before the Passion get in the backfield, and that's a first down for the Divas.
First down and 10 for DC. Congione back to pass with some more pressure, throws over the middle, and a dangerous one, nearly intercepted. It was the INT leader in the WFA, and Dee Harris circling there. She has 12 interceptions in 2 seasons and not even through the full second season.
And you heard that right, 12 in 2 years, doing such a good job at that safety position. She's playing center field. She has a lot of great football instincts, and they kind of just trust her to drift back and forth right there. You thought she had an interception. You'll see her here on the replay. Just couldn't get her hand underneath, but a good job to hawk that ball and just one bounce right before she could get her hands underneath it.
6 on the season this year. Last year she had 2 go for touchdowns. A throw here as she goes check down and was able to pick up some yak and a first down. A reception by Sienna Britt for a Diva first down.
And every time you think the Passion are going to get that stop, they just keep converting on these 2nd and long and 3rd and longs. You got to think the Passion might start getting a bigger pass rush going here, sending an extra blitzer, just trying to get them uncomfortable. because a lot of these short routes are open.
First down 10. Trips bottom of your screen. Caggione will throw, just lob it out right at the hash marks. And a great open field tackle there. Not much available as D. Harris makes the stop. And Garaya also there.
Garaya there, more of a linebacker, but had to do well in pass coverage there, stick with a wide receiver, and she did just that. So again, we're right back in that same circumstance. Long second down here. See if they try to convert here on another pass play. Or maybe we finally see him get back to that run game.
Caggione on a second down, they hand it off. Pushing for the Powell into Passion territory, about a yard shy on the carry by Whitney Sims.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 1, and it's going to be 2-down territory again here for the Divas. You might go right back with that same play call here. And they're getting a little bit more success than they did in that first game running the football. Something they said they really needed to get going here after that bye week. They've been struggling all year. Don't really have a consistent #1 running back. Today they've been leaning on a couple different girls here.
3rd and 1. Passion bringing everyone, and Caggione calls her own number on a quarterback sneak for the first down. Her helmet does pop off there, and she tries to sneakily put it back on. She won't be able to. She'll have to come out. Be the second time today.
She's saying that, what can I do here? That is the second time it just pops off. So she'll have to take a break. And again, we might see an option here, or just a basic run play so she can get right back in the game. A little bit upset with herself with that helmet coming off. Just has to sit out one play.
Well, it's 1 for 1 for Gabriella Johnson in touches and touchdowns. This time she'll hand it off as it goes to Sims. And Sims, ball comes out! Ball still rolling around! Pittsburgh says they have it. DC says they have it. It's a rugby scrum for the football.
And they're going to signal, I think it's going to be second down.
Divas football.
But that's the explosive play that we've been waiting for. The Passion just couldn't get their hands on it to recover it. So good job by the Divas to jump back on that football. But you'll see, way to punch this football out. Carrying it a little bit loose there with her right hand. Niedermeyer comes in and just swats that right out of her hand. Again, I said she was going to have a big second half. Leads the team in tackles. And at all times, she's got a nose for the football there. But now a big second down here for the Divas. 2nd and 13. You just thought, Matt, that might be the play, just to switch all the momentum. But again, keep up with this pass rush. Eventually, it's going to pay dividends.
Back to pass. Caggione has time. No one's available and open downfield. She circles. She scrambles. Looks like she'll run now. She'll throw. She has a receiver down there. It is incomplete. Blakey made the catch but was out of bounds doing so.
She tried to keep that 1 foot in there. It was one of those things where you're trying to set yourself to get underneath that football and your momentum just takes you out to the sideline. But again, look how much time that she just creates for herself back there. As you see, eventually this pass rush gets in. They're only rushing 4 because they're worried about the pass. Then circles back, rifles it to the sideline. There was a blindside block I thought might get called. It does not. And right there, just the momentum takes her out. So now it's 3rd and 13, Matt. Really good position here if you're the Passion. If you can get a sack on this or just an incomplete pass, then it's 4th and 13 from the 50. You think they got a punt in that circumstance.
There was a flag down, and there was an ineligible receiver downfield, as would happen with a play like we just saw, but it was declined. So the Passion just take the down. They make it 3rd and 13, and they're trying to hold the Divas here, who have that 10-point advantage.
One of the biggest downs here so far in this game as we start hearing the boomsticks here in the crowd. this could flip all the momentum here in the second half. 3rd and long here for the Divas.
Third down, 13. Motion from the Trips receivers. It's Britt. Back to pass, Congione. Lobs it over, in and out of the hands. Incomplete. They roll it incomplete. And it will be 4th down.
We talked about it. She's going to make 1 or 2 people miss, but you just got to consistently get in the backfield there, make her rush her throws, and that's a big stop for the Passion, and you got to think it's going to be a punt, and here comes the punt team on this one. But
Christy Kelly couldn't haul it in. It would have been interesting, too. She had a little bit of separation as she caught it. Would have been needed to make a few people miss. But
you saw Tyra Grant. Her eyes were big. She was ready to make a big hit stick there. So maybe the best thing for Kelly there was dropping that football. Tyra Grant was ready to make a big hit there. And now you get that first stop we talk about you really need. And now you need that offense to march right down the field like you did that in that first drive.
Punt is away. Harris on the return. Harris weaves to the near boundary, tries to evade, puts her head down, and is pulled down at the 34, where the Passion will begin offensively. Look, the journey of 1,000 miles, it begins with a single step. Step 1 was getting that opening series stop against the DC offense. Step 2 is going down and punching this thing into the end zone.
Yeah, we talked about it. You need that momentum switch. They finally got that. Now you got your crowd back into it. You got your bench back into it. Now you march right down the field like you did that first possession. That drive was beautiful. I mean, the run game was working. You had a couple play action passes, so we'll see how Chavez responds here in this second half. See if we can get that run game back going as well.
Marcelina Chavez and the Passion offense to work. And a carry here on first down, maybe a yard for Ariel Smith. They give her 1 to the 35. Smith, another carry. This time more space to work with. Smith, off first down for Pittsburgh.
Really nice run there again. Kind of a zone read stretch there. Just going to that boundary. Follow your wide receivers. Get a nice 11, 12-yard rush. And now this drive, you start building on a couple plays here. March down the field.
Really a perfect night for football. It was a chilly one last week, but perfect night, as this one is on the money to Meister. Jana Meister, a first down, headed into DC Diva territory at the 38-yard line.
Now we got some stuff going on here as Meister catches that one. As you'll see on the replay here, a nice throw by Chavez, waiting for on that post route. Good job to turn your body around and make that catch.
17 yards on the passing catch. Here's Devin Peace with a spin move to give her 9 and a second down and 1 in the Passion offense. Firing on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen everything we saw in that first drive. You get a couple nice positive runs, and then that play action just opens up. They start overcommitted on the run. They really want to stop the run here today, so then you throw it right behind them. As we are going to get a timeout here from DC to try to regroup here, as they can kind of notice, hey, they're gashing us here on this drive.
Leading 16-6. DC calls a timeout. We burn one with them here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
At Diesel Sports Complex, we don't just train athletes, we build game changers. Located in Cranberry Township, our mission is to develop athletes, empower families, and transform communities through elite coaching, innovative programs, and total player development. We proudly support female athletes and partner with the Pittsburgh Passion to inspire the next generation of strong, confident leaders in sports and in life. Whether it's private sessions, small groups, rep access, or full development memberships, we meet athletes where they are and guide them and their families through the journey. This isn't just a facility, it's a movement, and it starts with one visit, one session, one rep. Learn more at dieselsportscomplex.com, where we're better today than yesterday.
Most individuals, when they have an injury, they want to get back immediately, whether that is getting back to work or getting back to sport or getting to their next yoga workout. We really want to give them pain-free function and mobility as best we can for the extent of their lives, so they can be active, so they can enjoy being with their loved ones.
We're back to Pittsburgh, third quarter action. Third quarter brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine. Pittsburgh Passion Football against the DC Divas. Second down and 1, I formation. Chavez, not typically under center, but is for this one. And they hand it off. It's Johnson trying to bounce it, and I think she lost a yard to the 30. Or it will now be third down and 2.
Yeah, she was looking for the big play there, but now it's going to be third and short for the Passion, and you don't want this drive to stall out, as it seems like it was a fullback dive. Again, you said they don't go under center a lot, so just a little bit of miscommunication there for the Passion. But good news, you got 2 more downs to try to get this first down.
Throwing to Johnson, and it didn't work with the run, but it will work with the pass, or at least it should. It's right at the sticks.
Very close. We'll see where the ref will spot this ball.
Initial spot looks good.
They're eyeing it. You're wondering if the sticks are going to come out.
Nope. I see a fourth down signal.
Yeah. No index
Fourth and
cards
inches
coming out here.
No.
Yeah, I think maybe just Chavez with a QB power out of pistol. That would be something I would think here.
They're going under center here.
Yeah, it might just be a quarterback sneak.
Yep. And she got all that and more. That would have been good for 4th and 4.
Some people wonder when the quarterback sneak works that well. We should just start running that on first down sometimes.
Honestly.
4 or 5 yards there for Chavez. And the good news, you keep the drive going. And you got to think, they've taken about 6 minutes off the clock here on this drive as well, as they just methodically have drove all the way down. But now you're in the red zone almost, and it's time to punch it in here on the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's a new ball game when the Passion get in the end zone here. But they need to make sure they do so. Pistol with Johnson and Peace. Play action to Peace. Now she'll throw to Meister. Meister in space. Meister inside the 10, down to the 6. First and goal, Pittsburgh.
It's honestly unbelievable how comfortable Chavez is when she gets to roll out right there again. Finds her teammate Meister, the one that has scored 5 touchdowns so far this year. Almost scores a 6th here, but now the Passion are really in business inside the 10-yard line.
That's 18 yards on the passing catch. That makes it first down and goal, Pittsburgh. Chavez rolls here to the near sideline. She'll look. There's some pressure. She is hit as she throws to the end zone for the Passion touchdown on the reception. Angie Cardillo. And the Passion have drawn closer to the Divas.
Angie Cardillo gets her 2nd touchdown catch of the year, and Chavez off her back foot there. What a beautiful throw in the corner of the end zone. You thought she might have ran out of room and time, but finds her teammate there, and there's the answer that we were waiting for the Passion.
The almost pop pass from Chavez kind of jumped up off of 2 feet. to get that ball there.
We just talked about it. Anytime she gets to roll out, though, she's so comfortable. And what's amazing, she can go from the left or the right.
Yeah.
If you see a left-hander, sometimes they like preferring going to the one side, but right there, it doesn't matter. She'll roll out to the left or right.
Pittsburgh to go for two. And pre-snap penalty blows it dead. And it's a false start on Pittsburgh.
Now, obviously, this would make it interesting because then this would make it a 2-point game and then a field goal could win it. I know we got a lot of time left, but
sure.
Any coach, you're trying to cut this down. So now it's pretty much a 1st and 10 here, and you got to get into the end zone for this 2-point.
So Pittsburgh tries to go for two, 4:27 in the third. And Chavez operates from the pistol. Meister, the motion man. Play action. Chavez rolls, looks, surveys, throws to the back corner of the end zone. It goes incomplete, and the Divas lead remains 16-12. 4:27 to go here in the third. DC 16, Pittsburgh 12. This one far from over. Don't go anywhere.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Pittsburgh Passion Football, a look high above Slippery Rock University's Holly Thompson Stadium.
One of the nicer facilities that you'll see around these neck of the woods in all of college football, honestly, and what a nice venue for the Passion this year. But good news, what an answer by the Passion there, Matt, to get back on the board. And Cardillo with her second touchdown of the year. Good job to stay in bounds there, and that is a much-needed water break from one of our sponsors right there. He earned that one, and Chavez is saying thank you for catching that touchdown pass as well.
Yeah, thanks to Aid Nation for hydrating the Pittsburgh Passion. And, you know, in talking to Angie Cardillo earlier this year before the season started, one of the most soft-spoken, shy individuals. And I had to ask her, I said, do you just go into a different Angie when you get in between the white lines? And she goes, yeah, kind of.
It's like, it's for a lot of these girls, you meet them on the side and you're like, oh my, I can't. And then you see them like Chavez. I mean, she will run anybody over. Yes. I mean, at any time. And it's just so amazing how you can flip that switch.
From the 22, a return here for DC. As the Divas, Britt gets the return. And let's check back downstairs with Susie Cole.
Thanks, Matt. Last week, the Passion took on the Tampa Bay Inferno in what proved to be their toughest test yet. That is, until today, right now. Head coach Teresa Kahn said she was really proud of her girls for the way they stuck in last week's game, saying you truly don't know someone until you go through a storm with them. The Passion stuck together, kept fighting, and Kahn felt like the girls kept their composure to pull off that win. That composure and unity is going to be needed here in this second half against DC. Matt?
Great point, Susie. Yeah, we were talking about the win and how close it was. It was come from behind fashion. All the things that Pittsburgh knows they're capable of, they did last week. Now they have to do it here again this week.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get ready for the playoffs, these comeback wins, they'll wake you up a little bit. We know how dominant they can be, but you're going to have some games like this, especially a rivalry game. You can just throw the records out the window. We've seen it in any form of football. You know each other well. You know what you like to run, and you try to limit that. And so far, the Divas have done a good job, and it really seems like the Passion have finally tried to sniff out what the Divas are trying to do on offense, and if they can get another stop here, the momentum's all on their side.
Now Struber on the call, and DC, of course, the other side of that is they can deliver a counterpunch here and go down and try to retake a two-score advantage. But what play calling from Lisa Horton, co-head coach, offensive coordinator on that series to get Pittsburgh back within a score. As they go back to the ground game, Struber stacked up. It'll be third down coming up here, and Pittsburgh would love to get the ball quickly back for their offense.
Yeah, they really would, and it's interesting to me that we've seen so many different running backs for the Divas. There you've had Struder on this drive, and we'll see who they bring in for 3rd and 8. But if the Passion can stop them here, you got to think it's, again, another punt, and then if the offense is humming like they did that last drive, you go right back and finally get the lead back in this game.
Yeah, it's Struber, Buckman, Congialdi, and Sims are the top 4 in rushing, and they go to the right side.
That's going to be a false start there, Matt. Just a little bit too early for the Divas, so that's good news for the Passion. It's going to be ended up being a 3rd down and 11. They were going for that stretch play again, and the left tackle there just got a little bit too antsy on her first step. As you'll see here, she wants to get to one of those linebackers on the second level, so she tried to cheat it just a hair. Ref sniff it out, and now it's a long third down for the DC Divas.
Big third down here in the waning moments of this third quarter. WFA Pro Game of the Week turning out to be just that. 3rd and 11, Congialdi from the gun. Throwing to the far side, undershot a receiver, but she comes back to the football a yard ahead of the sticks. First down, DC, hauled in by Howe again for the Divas.
And every time you think Congialdi's out of this game, again, a nice out route there and just well-timed. I mean, you can't really defend it any better than that. You just put the money, or put the ball right where you need it to go, right on the money there, and that's another first down. And it's amazing how many 3rd and longs they've converted in this game, and that's kind of been the momentum shift for the Divas.
First down and 10 for DC. They convert. They fake the motion, and they hand it off. Again, it is Whitney Sims picking her way into Passion territory at the 49, where she meets Kim Zubovic, one of the longest tenured Pittsburgh Passion players and a state trooper in her day job. And to your point, Damon, with the conversion there by DC on 3rd down, they're 5 of 9 on 3rd down.
And I feel like most of them were 7, 8, 11 yards. It's just one of those games where you keep getting them so close to punting the football, and then they're just pulling a play that you just don't expect.
Whitney Sims, another carry, breaks a tackle. As DeChico tried to trip her up, she was able to shred off one. And Rebecca Airgood and Dee Harris come in to make the stop official. And here we go again for a 10th time, 3rd down.
Here we are, 5 for 9. I mean, every time it's a long 3rd down, and it ends up being an out route or a slant route. So we'll see what we get from the Divas here. You think the Passion know what's coming, but Congialdi, she has just made plays happen in this ball game so far.
3rd down, 4. They go back to the ground game, and there's a wall there of Pittsburgh Passion defenders, and led by Caitlin Niedermeyer. One more time, it's 4th down.
And we have a injury on the play, but I said a big second half for Niedermeyer, and that's exactly what she's producing. She drives this whole entire defense. You saw, they tried to double team her there. She split right through it, got in the backfield, a nice tackle there, and then all your girls come together there for a group tackle. As you see, one player got rolled up on there at the very end.
Kendra Hampton is down.
She made a nice play there to help Niedermeyer get her down on the ground there as well. So clock has stopped. We'll get one more play, which will be a 4th and 2 for the Divas. But again, you talked about it, the sportsmanship here today with everybody going down on one knee. And the biggest thing to me that's so impressive too is, like, Sims is such a powerful runner, but she's always getting helped up by a Passion player, and the other as Chavez, always getting helped up. It's awesome to see these girls compete, but at all times it seems like they're trying to take care of each other at the same time. They know how awesome this league is, and they want everybody taken care of. As you can see, all the Passion players right now on one knee.
So much for the love of the game of football. And we will step aside as they tend to the injured player.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine, and Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work, to bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
Supportive.
grateful,
Inspiring.
connected, integrated,
Community. Communication.
Great.
Fun.
meaningful,
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional.
Care.
opportunities, excellent,
Passionate.
family, family.
Awesome.
Hampton was helped off the field, carried off the field, so thoughts and prayers with her as she gets tended to. And here is 4th down and 4 for the DC Divas. And they will not run this play in the 3rd. We'll have to go to what we are scheduled for our final round in this battle of heavyweights. Divas, Passion, nothing decided, 16-12 after 3. Let's play a 4th when we come back on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
At Diesel Sports Complex located in Cranberry Township, our mission is to develop athletes, empower families, and transform communities through elite coaching, innovative programs, and total player development. We proudly support female athletes and partner with the Pittsburgh Passion to inspire the next generation of strong, confident leaders. Whether it's private sessions, small group training, rep access, or full development memberships, we meet athletes where they are, and it starts with one visit, one session, one rep.
Let's play a 4th. Pittsburgh Passion football brought to you in part, and this 4th quarter brought to you by D1 Training North Pittsburgh. Train different with D1.
And I mean, what a play to come back to. 4th and 4. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down. They got to try to muster something up. And for the Passion, you get this ball back down by 4 at midfield. I mean, the momentum has fully shifted back to you in this ball game.
It has been a journey of 1,000 miles for the Passion to come back, and another step in that direction is a stop here on 4th. They motion out of the backfield. Buckman back to pass. Conciotti throws too low, incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs. The Passion hold, and Pittsburgh takes over on downs to crack the can here in the 4th.
What a stop for the Passion, and honestly, one of the first mistakes we've seen from the Divas on those 3rd and 4th downs there. Just a little bit of a mishap, rush that throw. I mean, what an offense of display they've shown here today. But try to time up that throw, a little bit of pass rush, had to rush that throw, and now the Passion get the ball back at midfield, Matt, only down by 4. Again, somehow they always battle back, and that's what good teams do. At one point they were down by 10. Now you're down by 4, and you are in prime field position.
First down at 10, Pittsburgh. Chavez hands off to Smith. Smith off the left side. Smith has a first down, headed into DC territory, down at the 40-yard line.
And you know me, I love shouting out our blockers anytime we get Emily Tooney. You'll see right here, what a block to set the edge for Smith. You'll see it right here on the left side of your screen. Turn a defender, and then that big hole is right there for Smith. And a nice physical finish there to that run.
13 yards on the run for Smith. It's a first down, Pittsburgh.
You got to give the blocking tight end some love anytime you can.
Chavez on the option play, flips it out to Peace. Peace has the corner. Peace trying to get to the boundary, and she does, as she's knocked out of bounds. Is Forrest on the tackle, but not before a pickup of 7.
And I mean, she makes you pay when she runs the football here, as you'll see a shot here at the very end. And a nice little speed option. Nice read there by Chavez. She does such a good job on the read option and the speed option. And watch the finish of this run. I want to get me one more hit before I get out of bounds.
Yeah, Talma Stevenson took the lick there from Devin Peace. And Lisa Horton has cooked up an offense that's churning right now. It's 2nd down and 3 to go. Peace gets another call. Devin with a bunch of open space and sliding in behind her to pull her down and stop a gain from getting larger. Spring Gamble, but it's a fresh set of downs for the black and gold.
But I mean, this is good news for the black and gold. Watch here, hat on a hat all the way as you see this stretch play to the left. Everybody's got one-on-one blocking, or wide receivers doing a great job too, so you can set that edge. There's Meister even getting involved a little bit, as that's another first down for the Passion.
Our replays tonight brought to you by Two Phrase Brewery, your neighborhood brewery, bringing you tonight's instant replays. There you see the center and one of the captains, Kylie Roebuck, snapping the ball to Chavez. Chavez to the right side. She'll use her legs. Chavez down the far boundary. Chavez into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Marcelina Chavez from 25 away to give the Passion the lead here in the 4th.
We've had so many big plays in this game, but that might be the exclamation point right there. Chavez getting to the edge. She's so dangerous as a runner as well. You'll see here, it's a rollout. She can throw this football, but she says, I'm going to take it herself. 25 yards down the sideline. Makes a couple girls miss, a couple good blocks there. And just a little stiff arm again that we've seen from Chavez here tonight, and they punch it in, and they officially have the lead back 18-16.
That Pittsburgh Passion touchdown brought to you by Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill. For celebrations of every size, that one a huge size, because the Passion have retaken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Down by as many as 10. Zubovic a late add. They need one more. And racing on is Paige Bragg, who was...
They still got 20 seconds. They should be okay here.
Bragg was the one who attempted the extra point before. Now it's Cody Johnson doing the duties here. Out of the hold apiece. Snap, hold, kick, all true, are good. With 13:03 to play in the 4th. Pittsburgh Passion 19, the DC Divas 16. 4th quarter action here from Slippery Rock University and the WFA Pro Game of the Week.
We have a winning number. Prize to the winner will be $274. You may collect your prize at the press box on the scoreboard side of the stadium. Again, 50-50.
We're going to look at the touchdown one more time from Chavez here. As again, this was supposed to be a design pass, had a drag route open there for a second. She said, I see some open field here. Turns it up. We see that padded and stiff arm one more time here. And it is a touchdown for the Passion again. And now Cody Johnson, who just got the extra point, is now on the kickoff.
23rd career rushing touchdown as a Pittsburgh Passion player, and she becomes the 3rd player in Passion history to pass for 1,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards, and that is elite company. One of those other 3 is her coordinator and coach in Lisa Horton.
You got to think maybe they compare some stats every now and then.
As this one is going to be kicked out of bounds, so good field position for DC as we'll go downstairs and check in with Susie.
Injury updates. Defensive end Kendrea Hampton still on the table, getting her left leg looked at. Not looking good for her to be back in this game. In an update from that 1st quarter, defensive back Rochelle Nestler, an upper body injury. She actually left the game in the 2nd quarter. She went to the locker room, and I haven't seen her back out here since. Matt?
Susie, thank you for the updates. As we wish all a speedy recovery. And the DC Diva offense, and we've talked a lot about what Pittsburgh is capable of in quick strike. DC is also capable of that, but Pittsburgh, as of the last few series, Damon, Pittsburgh's had the answer for the Diva offense. Maybe you see Congialdi start trying to sling it, create a big play.
Yeah, and you've got to make sure at all times you have Dana Blakely covered. We've seen 2 deep balls to her, and when everything else is not working, it seems like they go, all right, we're running a go route right now and see if we can make something happen. So this pass rush for the Passion has to get Congialdi uncomfortable.
Carry goes to Sarah Struber. Gets 2 yards on the first down carry.
Into, there's a 2nd and 8 for the Divas.
And now if you're the Divas, you thought you were in full control of this game, Matt, and now out of nowhere, now you're down 2. This game has had everything. Everybody's throwing a haymaker back and forth, and we still have 12 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter.
Conciotti will hand it off. And carry forward, that is right at the first down sticks for DC as Struber picks up a fresh set of downs for the Divas.
This run defense has been so good this year for the Passion, and in this second half they got right back to what has been helping them so much. Stop all these offenses, again only allowing 15.5 points, but here, see a nice fullback block there and a power, and then Struder doing a really good job, always falling forward for an extra 1 or 2 yards there, as we do have one more injury, but she is going to be able to run off the field, and that is Tyra Grant, who looks like she's okay, maybe just a cramp, has to take a play off. Look at that scenic view we got here of this stadium right here, Matt. I mean, it is unreal.
Slippery Rolling Hills.
Now we'll see if the Passion now 1st and 10. Again, they need to try to slow down this DC offense, Matt. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a deep shot here soon.
They will keep it on the ground this time as Struber gets the call to the right side, knocked out of bounds. Picks up the midfield stripe. It will be 2nd down and half the yardage.
There was a late flag. We'll see if this is on the offense. I think it might have been a hold. And when you run a counter like that, you got to be patient with your block, but every now and then you're going to grab that edge defender, and I think that's what we got here. We're going to wait and see the refs confirm this one, and they're going to talk and see if they want to surrender the down or they want the 10 yards on the holding. So we're still waiting on confirmation on this penalty. I think it's a hold, Matt, but it could have been a couple different things here on this counter play. Block on the back.
That will be taken and marches the Divas back. This is a drive killer, those types of calls. Back at the 37-yard line. They need the 45 of Pittsburgh for a 1st down. Back to pass, Conciotti will just dump it off on the running back screen, and Caitlin Niedermeyer sources out from the defensive line position and was able to make a tackle at the hash marks.
She's unbelievable how much ground she can cover at all times. Again, she's playing a defensive tackle to a D-end hybrid. She can kind of play across the whole entire line of scrimmage there. On a halfback screen, you're not used to your D-end getting out here, sheds that block and gets right to the running back. She's been driving this offense, or this defense, in the second half. It's very impressive. Great game here by Niedermeyer again, who's 2nd on the team in tackles as a defensive lineman. It's unbelievable. You don't see those type of stats anywhere. The last one I can remember is like an Aaron Donald type.
She always has a strong family contingent as well here at games. One of the louder cheering sections at Passion games, and
she's got a lot to cheer about. I was about to say, at all times, she's always in the backfield making a big play. We saw her punch that ball out, and the Passion almost got that one as well. She's had a really good game. And another good news, this is going to be, it looks like either another penalty or they're still debating.
Looks like Dave Barry and his crew might be talking about restaurant plans after the game. What are they doing here? Yep, 2nd down.
We knew that one, I think.
I don't think anyone did.
I don't know.
Discredited that. I think maybe Teresa Kahn was hoping that it would have been a loss of down.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's what she's getting, is some clarification there.
And I'll say she's getting her money's worth. I mean, she's getting a full-on explanation here.
She is.
She goes, wait a minute. But then she goes, I'm just joking.
Okay.
I think they know each other. Been around a minute in this league, and it was just like, okay, I understand. Back to the game. But
I like that Dana Harris, co-owner of the Passion, she's out on the sideline. She wants an explanation about it.
Because I think they both, after that penalty, thought it might be 3rd down after that big stop. So now it's 2nd and 18. Good news, this defense has been swarming on this drive. We've seen so many big plays in the backfield. At all times, though, again, watch out for that deep ball. That's what the Divas have gone to when everything else has not worked. Bad news for the Divas as the refs are still talking. The crowd's getting a little rowdy here.
They are.
For the Passion. And longer it takes, you can see some players pumping up the crowd as well. They're ready to go.
Passion defense loving it. 2nd down at 18.
We're finally back.
Congialdi back to pass. Will throw on a check down. It's completed and shrugging off one and sidestepping out of bounds. A big play for the Divas. On the reception there for DC is Dana Blakely.
We talked about her a lot. She just has that big play ability.
Yep.
And at all times, like we said, when they need someone to go to when everything else isn't working, they go to her. Again, making a couple girls miss there. I love how patient she is at all times. Finally finds an open receiver. And then you see makes one defender miss and then uses that speed to get to that 1st down marker. And again, at all times when they need a big play, that's exactly who they're going to.
That was good enough for a 1st down. They needed 18, got 18. Screen pass set up to the far side. Kelly strikes off one, can't shrug off another, and there's no gain of the screen pass there.
A lot of screen passes you can over pursue, but the Passion are doing a good job. You got to just stick with the play, don't fall for it. So then it's just a gash of a play on the left side there. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Passion, or for the Divas, and the Passion are trying to stop them now as they are at the 45-yard line. And so far on this drive, Matt, we've talked about it all game. Those long 3rd downs, 4th down, that was a 2nd and 18. You just never know when they can convert on something here. But there's going to be another penalty. That's going to be a false start, it looks like. But so far, the Flags have somehow not stalled out this drive.
No.
They just, it's one of those weird games where you think you're doing everything right, but every time you're like, okay, it's 3rd and 18. We're going to stop them here.
Right.
And then somehow someone's open for a post. It's just one of those things in this game, but you back them up another 5, so now it's 2nd and 15. We're kind of in the same circumstance we were just in.
Yeah, it's pin your ears back time. Clock winds here at 9:30 in the 4th quarter. Welcome you all joining us. Roller coaster ride in this WFA Pro Game of the Week with Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo with you here in the 4th quarter. Divas trail the Passion, and they give it off left side to Buckman, and she is denied that left side as Harris comes in to make the stop.
I was just going to mention her as she was just stalking back there. She's waiting for that big play. But right now, what she can do, she can help get in that backfield and help stop that run game. But now it's 3rd and 15. If you're looking for anybody here, is Harris. I love when a safety gets all the way into the backfield, makes a big tackle. But that's one to look for right now. She wants that interception. She hasn't had one in this game. As you said, 12 in the last 2 years. It's unbelievable. We'll see if she can finally pick one off here.
3rd down, and we'll call it 13. Congialdi throwing here to the near side, flat, it's caught to Johnson. Johnson stretches for the 40, short of the line to gain, and it will be 4th down for DC. They are 0 for 3 on 4th down conversions tonight.
And it's go zone here. It's 4th and 5. One of the biggest possessions so far in this game with 8 minutes to go. How good the Passion run the football. If they get this ball back, you can think they can take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock here. So the biggest play so far for the Divas. Good job getting a couple extra yards there too, stretching your arm out. But here we go, Matt. Biggest possession of the game. The crowd's back to being ruckus here, and we'll see if the Divas can pull one more magic trick out of their playbook here, or the Passion can finally get a big stop.
Congiotti with the flag down over the middle, open for the first down, found the soft spot of the zone, and it is caught for a first down with flags down. Britt makes the reception.
I think it was another free play unless they did see someone. Yeah, it's going to be declined. I thought the Divas might have moved, but it is going to be a first down. And again, it's unbelievable. Anytime they need to convert. Fourth down, they didn't so far in this game, but now they're 1 for 3. We saw just an early jump right there. I thought the Divas might have moved, but they did not. Good job by their linemen there. And now you thought the Passion were in the driver's seat, and the Divas are still marching down the field.
And they're lurking closer, knocking on the door of the red zone. Passion looking to make sure the door's locked. Congiotti back to pass. Near side throw. It is caught, and it's inside the red zone at the 15-yard line. On the reception for DC is Davia Howe one more time.
And she's the leading receiver on the team. We haven't heard much from her. A couple slants. I mean, she's done her job, but you were waiting for a big play from her. There's another well-timely out route. And that's not an easy throw. I mean, you got to have some arm power behind that. Really nice out route there and completion. That's the one thing that stuck out to me in this game, how well timely their routes are and how they're completing some of these passes.
Second down and 1. They gave her 9. Trips top of your screen. Rolling to the left side, Congiotti looking to conduct it, throwing and nearly intercepted. Almost route jumped by Pittsburgh. That was Grace Tadzda on the coverage. It goes incomplete, and now it's third down, and the attention turns to just maybe converting the first down for DC as we're under 7 minutes to play.
And we haven't seen them scared to run the quarterback sneak either. That's definitely in play here. Maybe a fullback dive again. So I would expect the Passion to pack this box as much as they can here. Again, this is 2 down territory, and they just need 1 yard.
3rd and 1 from the gun. Amanda Congiotti keeps it herself. She'll have the first and pulled down, but not before a Frechette. Cameron Rufner makes the tackle to alleviate any possibility of a bigger gain, but it'll be first down and 10. DC will be able to pick up a first down at the 3-yard line.
And I don't think she'd be mad at me saying that. She's definitely a pocket passer. But today, we've seen her use her legs as much as possible, and it's been very impressive.
And that's really the story about Amanda is while she is and looks like a pocket passer, she kills you with the ability at the most inopportune time with her legs.
You
has
think
done that
she's
her whole career.
trapped, and then she just, out of nowhere, will make something happen.
Sims off the left side to the 9.
Niedermeyer again with a huge lick there. Just got herself right in there, and Sims, also a physical runner, just took her straight down. And this is kind of where we were in that first half, where it's going to be 1st and goal eventually here if they get this first down. And this is where they couldn't punch it in, so we'll see how the Passion can defend it again.
2nd down and 7. High step, Congiotti looks, throws, caught, touchdown DC. The Divas back in front. Christy Kelly on the reception for DC, and the Divas have struck back.
What an answer by the Divas, and there's that out route again. Well-timed, waiting for her to just get to that outside part of the field. Nice pitch and catch, and the Divas do respond. Good news, the Passion will get this ball back with 5:01 to go in this game. So they can make an answer in their own right. We'll see if they can make it an all-important 4-point game here. This extra point has a lot of weight to it here now.
Extra point here from the right foot of Emily Smith. Johnson the hold. And it finds its way. No good.
And that is very important, Matt. It keeps it a one-possession game,
yes.
3-point game, a field goal. You could tie this game.
5 minutes to play. 22-19. DC leads it. Pittsburgh gets the ball back when we come back on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Quiet on set? No way. This is Jake's time to shine. And Ryan's, and our crew. Cameras, check. Drones, check. Checking that shot we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here capturing this action. This is when we get to work. To bring you every moment live, no matter what. Broadcasting changes everything. Transform how you experience the game with JRM Video Production.
The fourth quarter, waning moments, 5 minutes to play. 22-19 from Slippery Rock University. Our WFA Pro game of the week. A back and forth affair between bitter rivals.
I mean, we've been talking about this game all week, and it's lived up to it absolutely here. If you turned in here live tonight, I mean, it's just been haymaker after haymaker. We finally think one team is going to just say, hey, we're going to take over, and then the other team punches back. Now the Passion has an opportunity again.
From the 15-yard line, here's the return. It's Dazda on a return that's going to angle here to the near sideline. Trying to get the corner, and she will not be able to. Shy of the 40. Still good field position here for Pittsburgh as they go back to work. And they were not able to crack the code on last year's National League MVP and Marcelina Chavez as she about to take the field and lead the Passion down, trailing 22-19. This is where quarterbacks are made and legends are born in terms of what you do in the fourth quarter trailing.
Yeah, and she's licking her chops. You know for a fact that she's ready for this opportunity. She showed it over and over again. There's nothing like a fourth quarter comeback, and if she can get another touchdown, I mean, it's just been an unbelievable night. Watch her use her legs on this drive, too.
Oh, there was a snap, miscue, and Devin Peace has to go back and get it. Absolute near catastrophic there for Pittsburgh, but Peace alertly pounces on it, but a huge loss on the play.
A miscue that is very costly with 4:30 to go, and now it's going to be second and at least, what is that? I can't even, the ref's still debating. I think it's second and 22, Matt? We might even be farther than that at this point.
Yeah.
But again, it's probably 25.
25 it is.
And it might be 4-down territory. It depends where this clock is when you get down to the fourth, but you have all three timeouts as well.
Chavez on second down. Now it will be third on the incomplete pass intended for Johnson.
Chavez pass incomplete intended for Johnson.
And third down here for Pittsburgh.
No need to panic yet, Pittsburgh, as you do have all three timeouts and you still have this third down. It's a long one, but you never know what you can muster up here. Still a lot of time in this ball game. We'll see. They might just run this, Matt, and then just you got to punt it, and then your defense got to make a stop for you.
Had the thought as well. Let's see what they do here on an I formation. It's Meister in the slot. Flag is down. Back to pass, pressured, and sacked. Down at the 14-yard line.
Adams there getting in the backfield, doing a good job not letting Chavez juke her out as you would expect. This is on the offense. It will be declined.
Illegal motion on Pittsburgh. It's declined and it's fourth down. Just a tick under 4 minutes to go. And I would imagine Pittsburgh will try to punt this one away, but You don't want to burn a timeout here. They may.
They are going to burn one. And here's the penalty, just a legal motion there. Tried to get her feet set just 1 millisecond too late. And there's the flag. And then you see Adams doing a good job getting Chavez down on the ground, because we know how those legs can be so dangerous. He sneaks by one or two. So we'll see who has the punting duties. Usually it's Cody Johnson here. They haven't punted much this year, though. I mean, all year. And we're going to see 2 in one game. And I've been calling her a utility knife because, like I said, she is a great tight end. She's your extra point taker. If a field goal comes down in this game, it'd probably be her. She also has coached soccer at the collegiate level as well, Matt. So, I mean, she does a little bit of everything. It's been very impressive. She'll probably have the punting duties on this one as well.
Scoring update, Minnesota leads the Cali War 7-0 in the second quarter of that game. The other game of the week. Fourth down, Pittsburgh has found themselves with their backs against the wall a couple times tonight. And this looks like Devin Peace. This looks like they're going to go for it. Chavez under center on fourth down and forever. She will roll with pressure. Chavez looks to run. She has room. She takes off down the boundary. Chavez shakes off one, but comes up well short of the line to gain. It's a turnover on downs, and DC takes over, leading now in Pittsburgh territory at the 36-yard line.
I think it's one of those thought processes as we got a small chance to convert him, but now, again, they're going to be in that no man's land here, and they trust their defense. So they would get good field position back. And it was a good play call. It was a counter out to the right, and you're hoping Chavez can get to that edge and nobody can catch her, and it almost worked. Right there, that just slowed her down just a millisecond there, and they end up getting her on the ground. But now, I mean, it's must-stop territory here for the Passion.
How about Talia Stevenson on the open field tackle of Chavez? And now with 3:41, both teams have 2 timeouts.
The chess match starts as well here with those timeouts.
And how close to the vest does DC play this? Do they just run, or do they? 2 seconds to go on the play clock, and there's a false start penalty coming against DC to get this thing going.
And it's one of those things where everybody's pointing at each other, but it is going to be on the offense, and that's exactly what the crowd is showing you what they can do for the Passion here in this game.
So that backs them up to the 41.
What a quarterback matchup we've had in this game, too. As you can see, Caglioli just trying to calm everybody down in the huddle. I mean, both of these quarterbacks here tonight have done such a phenomenal job. 1st and 15. We'll see what the Divas can muster up here.
They go to the ground game, and it's a carry to the 40. Niedermeyer comes in very quickly to make the tackle on Sims.
And you can notice the Divas are taking their time here in the huddle. You got to think they are going to mostly use all of this play clock. It's down to 25, and they haven't even broken the huddle yet.
There's just enough time where Pittsburgh can afford to not call the timeouts here. You still have the 2-minute warning as another stoppage. 2nd down, 14 from the 40. Congialdi will take off, and she spun around. She spins out of it, races to the sideline, and then is knocked out. Congialdi almost did it. A Houdini act again.
Good news for the Passion, though. You forced her out of bounds, so you stop the clock, Matt. You get to save a timeout there.
Doesn't look
like no, they said that she got her momentum thrown. Okay, I thought even their players kind of looked around and thought that the play has stopped. So they're going to have to run one more play here before the 2-minute warning, as the game clock is at 2:30 and the play clock's at 22 seconds.
3rd down, as we see Congialdi one more time. It was Harris chasing her out with Anna Duffield. 3rd down.
and they're going to let that game clock all the way down, and then they're going to use a timeout. DC burns one. We'll get one more play before this 2-minute warning. And I mean, 3rd and 12, but they are, again, Matt, in that territory where you think it's going to be 2 downs no matter what. So it's going to be interesting to see if they just try to get 5 or 6 yards here or try to get the whole chunk going into this huge circumstance. 2:08 to go. Good news for the Passion. They still have 2 timeouts. They just need one big stop here, but the storyline all night tonight has been these big 3rd down conversions for the Divas. Every time it's been 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, they somehow just pull a play out that they extend a play. Kajialdi does a really good job finding someone downfield. So you got to think Niedermeyer, somebody needs to get in the backfield right here, right now.
Another illustrious chapter in this great rivalry. Big 2 plays here. 3rd down and 12. 6-4-11 on 3rd downs tonight. Throwing it, it is caught at the 28-yard line. It's a yard shy or 2 shy of the 1st down. It will be 4th down and 2 when we come back. 2-minute warning. A big-time opportunity for the defense when we come back on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Supportive.
Grateful.
Inspiring.
Connected. Integrated.
Community. Communication.
Great.
Fun.
Meaningful.
Inclusive. Dedication.
Professional. Care.
Opportunities. Excellent.
Passionate.
Family. Family.
Awesome.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Two minutes to play in this one. 4th quarter and a 4th down and 2. Loud here at Slippery Rock. Renegade rumbles here at Mahalit Thompson Stadium. Conchioni from under center.
Watch the QB sneak, Matt.
Pittsburgh, did they get him to jump? It looks like there's a flag and a no stoppage of the play. It allows Conchioni to go off the right side and pick up a Diva 1st down. Pittsburgh caught jumping off sides.
And it's going to be offside. You thought maybe there was some movement from the Divas. So that's bad news for the Passion. They still do have 2 timeouts. So it's going to turn into one of those things where if I'm the Divas, I'm wasting as much time as possible. And for the Passion, you got to use those timeouts right away. But watch Kajialdi here again. We consider her a pocket passer. Goes over top of a defender there, reaches out. What a game for her tonight so far. Trying to lead her bunch for a big win against the Passion. But at any time, we haven't seen that big turnover play. And at any moment, that could happen for the Passion here with 1 minute and 56 seconds to go in this one.
1st and 10 for DC. Sims the call. And she'll pick her way to the 20.
They're going to hold off using that first timeout.
No.
It seemed. No, that now it goes. No, I think that was for. Yep, here it comes. I thought maybe there was a player down for a second, but there is that first timeout. And they are going to tell the game clock operator to put a couple seconds back on the clock.
With 1:39 to go.
It's time to try to do some quick math, Matt. That's when you're trying to think. And that's a lot of these teams now invest in someone that's one of the part of their game planning and when they're on the sideline, like, okay, we have 2 timeouts. We got 1:56 to go. How much time do we have? So
at this point, you got second, third, and fourth down. Game clock's at 25 seconds. What? That's 50. I'm doing quick math on the air, which is always terrifying. A minute 15.
I'll let you do it, my friend.
15 seconds plus. I mean, you can get the ball back with 20 seconds, a little less than that. So, and you get to stop the clock one more time. And any way you can try to force them to the sideline, but the Divas, their head coach, their whole coaching staff is saying, hey, do not get to that sideline as well. So,
right. Led by Alyssa Marful, the head coach of the Divas. Handoff here. And a couple more as finally the convoy pulled down at the 18, where it will be third down as Struber gets the call. Timeout Pittsburgh. They are out of them now with the minute 27 to go, and it will be third down. So if you get a stop here,
then you get one possession where they would probably, if I was DC, you would let it run all the way down to 0, then you call your timeout, or you can even take the penalty, to be honest with you. I know you want to score again, but at this time you trust your defense with the Passion having no timeouts, and they got to go at least 80 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And that's my miscue. I thought they had one less timeout. So, again, you can get this ball back with like 50 seconds. I said 15 at the first part. So, again, you just need a quick stop here, and then it's fourth down. And then it's an uncomfortable discussion. Do we try to get the first down, or do we try a long field goal? There's a couple different options. I think they try to just go for the first down. So, a big opportunity here for the Passion.
Third down, 5 to go. Congialdi from the gun. Now they motion her out of the backfield in Buckman. Congialdi keeps, and she gets a first down and more. Congialdi down to the 1 yard line. First and goal, DC, and that about clinches it.
She's been calling her own number so much in this game, Matt, right here. It was a QB power right from the get-go. Did a good job to get past that first down, and she said, you know what, I'm going to try to get this into the end zone. Good job by the Passion to not let her get in there. But with no timeouts left, it seems like the Divas now just have to kneel on this football, and it's going to be a win for DC.
Yeah, let's see what the decision is there, because the part of this that matters is the Massey ranking. So while it would make sense in most instances to just knee this thing out, scoring actually helps DC in the rankings here. So I would imagine they're going to try to get it in here, and DC is going to false starts to make it a little more interesting here. But, the fact that if you're still playing, that still allows the possibility for fumbles and crazy things to still happen. Right?
Yep, absolutely. And that's a good catch by you. I mean, the rankings mean more than, I know standings-wise, Passion's still going to be up top. But those Massey rankings after DC, if they end up winning this game, it's a big win. But if you can win by 10 points and not 3 points, that's going to swing a couple more, percent points for you to climb up in those rankings.
Could mean the difference between hosting or being on the road in the first round of the playoffs. Congialdi said, you know what, I think we're just going to take the win.
Yeah. Again, this was such a good game. I mean, back and forth, left and right. You had Passion with a couple big plays, then the Divas with a couple big plays. This is why it was game of the week, and this is why this rivalry every single year, we talk so much about it.
It's almost irony that, back in the last time these two teams met, Pittsburgh gets it done in D.C. D.C. returns the favor in Pittsburgh, and it happens again this year where Pittsburgh goes to D.C., dominates that game, and D.C., a fortunate week before a bye. You get the bye going into Pittsburgh week, and you say, we want to make a statement. And this one, another notch in the belt of one of the best rivalries in women's pro football.
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss this. You never know when it's going to happen again. We'll see it next. You might see it in the playoffs.
No doubt.
It's unbelievable. And I will say, that extra bye, you get another week of watching film. I mean, and you got some sore players on the Passion side. You had some injuries, too.
Sure.
So it's just one of those, it happens. But again, now you're 4-1. You come back next week. You try to cap off the regular season 5-1. And for the Divas, now you're 3-2. And you're rooting for another Passion loss. And then the division, it gets a little squirrely at that point with 5-2. Or, yeah, it would be 4-2 and 5-2 at that point.
No question, and Cincinnati comes to town next week, and we'll have that game for you. And they have proven to be no slouch either, so it doesn't get any easier for the Pittsburgh Passion, but a valiant effort here tonight. The Pittsburgh Passion fall to the DC Divas 22-19 in what has been another epic chapter in this rivalry between DC and Pittsburgh. For David McDermott, Susie Cole, and our entire JRM video production, I am Matt Fargo saying thanks so much for watching this presentation of Pittsburgh Passion Football. We'll talk to you next week. Until then, good night, everybody, from Slippery Rock University.